give her apology, and then she just added another phone number to the 13-year-old grandson that was possibly with the daughter. She's not with this.
Pretty close.
Veteran crazy, I might call it, but they have a female veteran suffer medication. She's north of St. David. Your tech control, take the tech going out.
Take Rumble, 2.30 control.
Officer still staying for time, you know?
Three. Can I let our supervisor know that I have a case report for the test? Take Rumble, 2.30 control.
Officer still staying for time, Ep.342, you guys are okay over there? Alright, is your victim at the hospital? Oh my God, Mary. Right, did each of you guys take pictures of the, is it domestic related? Calling back. We're gonna try to give her a call again, and then she just added another phone number to the 13-year-old grandson who's possibly with the daughter. Somebody was just.
Please, we close.
Veterans Craig Satellite comment, so they have a female veterans on communication. She's the work to say anything. Attacking 12, check that one out.
6 Rumble and 617 is running down.
Also still staying to talk. No. Offender in custody. If anyone else close by just for us, let me know.
Let us supervise and know that the police report is arrest attached.
1830. Says possible Sheridan and Wilson.
Yes, glad you came along. Please come inside. Thank you for joining the show. Late morning, early afternoon. We're going to be doing 2 Idaho4. Why am I so small on my screen here? What's going on? I don't know what that's about. Oh, well, you get to enjoy the animated background a little more, I suppose. Good morning. We're going to be having 2 Idaho4 episodes today. This morning, afternoon, we're going to be I'm going to be doing a full read through of the article. Let me get this right. The Eyes of a Killer, Part 6. After a few falls, grieving father turned amateur sleuth discovers the prosecution's hidden ace. So I'll be doing a full read through of that, and I'll be also making a highlight of that after the show is over. So if you see that notification pop up, do me a favor, click on it and hit that like. I'd appreciate it. So we're going to be doing a full read through, probably about 45 or an hour, I'm thinking, something like that. But y'all always want me to read something, so I will read this today. We're also going to be having Unravel on the show this morning, early afternoon. We're going to be talking GrubTruck, and we're going to be talking about those Cowboys. Cowboy, baby. So, good morning, good afternoon. Thank you so much, Typically Unique. I appreciate it. I definitely got to get on Spotify. Spotify's the future, right? So, definitely got to get on Spotify. That's for sure. Thank you. I appreciate your help. Definitely go sub to Typically Unique as well. Kelly, thank you for hopping in. Fragaria, I apologize. Good morning. I just literally woke up like an hour before the show. Had a bunch of meetings, stuff to do, hurried up, got in the shower, ran to the desk, and boom, I am here. Sweats and a hoodie. Good morning, Jackie, or afternoon, whichever it may be. Detective Golden, prayers. What's up, Caddy? Good morning. Brandy Wine, what's up? What's up? Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Please hit the like if you haven't. It's a free way to help. We're going to be getting into a show. And then later tonight, we're going to be going over the Vargas stuff that we didn't get to last night. So we'll be going over the Vargas stuff, and we'll have a couple other things in there for tonight. I know it's so comfy this morning, wasn't it? I was like, no, I don't want to get up. Snooze. No, I don't want to get up. Snooze, snooze, snooze. Not good. I don't rest any day, damn it. What? Oh. Freaking computer. Oh gosh, startup. What are you well, I'm gonna be having interviews, by the way. I'm gonna be scheduling some coming up. We're gonna be having Kevin Kraft on the show Wednesday. Get to know Kevin Kraft. It's gonna be an interview, not necessarily about true crime. Part of the Evil CJ show is gonna include interviews. We'll be having a drawing show coming soon. I just have to get the right setup set up so the camera can go directly down on what I'm drawing, because I'm going to use my drawings as my artwork for my t-shirts. So my drawing shows are going to be inspired by t-shirt ideas that I have. So I'm going to use my artwork that I come up with, have that for a t-shirt, and then have the sayings or whatever I come up with on the t-shirt with my own artwork. So you guys will get to see the drawings from blank piece of paper until completion. So it's going to be cool. I can't wait for that. What's up, Unravel? Thank you for hopping in. If you would like to hop up while I'm reading the article, you're more than welcome. If not, I can send out the link to you after we're done. I'm going to go ahead and read the article first. So just let me know, Unravel. Ed Stacy, what's up? Thank you. And I can't wait for those wine and canvas painting shows. And I guess Kevin Kraft is a painter as well. So I said, sir, if you'd like to hop up on panel, we could both be on panel showing our art. Still have the picture up there for you guys, so you guys can do it as well. And then I also told Kevin he can stream to his live as well from my show. To give his channel some more exposure as well too. So he's gonna join us for a painting shoot. We got to figure out that night, everybody. What's the night gonna be where we have a glass of wine and we do some canvas painting together? Let me know. I got the stuff ready to go. I want it to be your guys' night, whatever night you guys choose. Oh yeah, I can't wait. Well, I already know my first drawing is going to be Jizzy G with, that Black and Mild wine wood tip cigar. Jizzy G is going to be having a wine wood tip cigar. So that'll be my first drawing. And Jizzy G is going to be the first t-shirt that I have a drawing on a t-shirt. Jizzy G, what's up, buddy? In fact, hold on. Let me highlight both the fellas over here. Let me highlight both the fellas. There we go. Hey, Jizzy G, he's always got his eyes on you. What's up, KW10? No, I'm Everywhereville. KW10. Everywhereville is such a long word. So evil, really, evil is where that comes from. It's just shortened for Everywhereville. Yes, it's cold here and it feels so damn good because I love my hoodie and sweats. It's the best. I love it. I could never have too many sweats. Seriously. Jizzy is the shizzy. That's right. Thank you for that picture too, Stardust. I appreciate that. No beautiful trees. No, we're not going to be doing beautiful trees. We're going to be doing fun stuff like the paintings. We're going to be doing, okay. So some of the painting ideas that I have here, let me switch back. Some of the painting ideas that I have, this is what because we do true crime too, right? So why not have some of the paintings be like, what's that art called? Modern pop art type. I'm gonna do the pictures, right? I'm gonna do the drawings. I'm not going to show you the drawings that I do for those. I'm going to do the drawings. I'm going to use the drawings as the picture that we're going to paint. And then you do whatever colors you want. You paint it however you want. You know, it don't even have to look the exact same. That's the beautiful thing about art is that because my idea is to not only show you guys so you guys can be included. I would love if you guys are comfortable to send in your artwork too, because I want to make the thumbnails everybody's art. Whoever wants to send it in that they, painted the picture we're painting that show. And then they can send it in and that'll be the thumbnail and everybody's art. I mean, come on, it would be beautiful to see everybody's style. And in the near future, when we do a few more painting shows, because I want everybody to get used to it, okay? As we progress in the painting shows, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a picture, right? And I'm going to cut it down into sections, okay? And each one of us is going to get a certain section of that picture. And I need it to be the same size as what we're all doing, like an 8x10 or something, right? I'm going to give each person a section of the picture. You paint that section. You send it to me. I put it all together and it's one big picture. Everybody's little piece of section included. So it's everybody's style together that creates one picture. But that's in the future. We got to do a few painting shows, get in the rhythm. After everybody gets in the rhythm, then I'm going to put that out there where we're all going to do certain sections. You send it to me, we include it. I think it would be so cool. Put it all together, one big picture, everybody's little bits of style put in together. I can't wait for it. But that's down the road. Yes, hidden sweats are the best. Yes, that's right, a unity picture. Right there. Yes. I mean, we can do those sometimes, right? We can do those sometimes, but Caddy, seriously, I love art. Art has been one of my passions since I was a little kid, and it's one of the things I've always wanted to do for the show since I started the show was include art. Anybody that has seen the shows in the beginning or was part of the show from the beginning knows that the art shows were always going to be number one. All right, here we go. All right, so I'm going to read this article. Yeah, I can't wait. It's going to be exciting. All right, so let me read this article here. I can't wait to include all you in it. It's going to be so cool. I love having this animated background. I'm so excited, and I thank you, StreamYard. Even though your shit's buggy, at least you added this kind of feature. It's really neat. Let me see if I can make this bigger. Hold on. I don't think so. Maybe I can go about here. All right, we'll put it about right there. Yeah, it's going to be fun. All right, here we go. Okay, so this is The Eyes of a Killer Part 6, Howard Bloom. After a few false leads, a grieving father turned amateur sleuth discovers the prosecution's hidden ace. Oh, that's right. I gotta subscribe to this. Hold on 1 second. I totally forgot about that. We're gonna watch something real quick while I subscribe to this. I thought I already did, though. That's what happens when you get up right before the show. When you hit snooze so many damn times. Just your email, it's free? Okay. Ooh, we got a new Stephen Smith episode to go over in the future. Very interesting information. All right. Let me see. Since we're gonna be, let's go ahead and I'm gonna watch. Ooh, let's watch the. Let's watch this. This harsh reality video. This is about the Cowboys. We'll be going into it later because Unravel has some stuff to go over about that too. So let me go ahead and we'll just go ahead and check this video out real quick. I will get subscribed to this and then we'll do the read through. I apologize about that.
Well, hello there. How is everybody? I hope you're all well. On this one, I nearly said fabulous. That wouldn't work, would it? Fabulous. Wonderful, wonderful midweek hump. The marvelous midweek hump. And this is video 2 of 2. So if you didn't check out video 1, after this, go check it out. We talk a little bit about Richard Allen Delphi case and the fact that he could be walking free very soon. But in this one, as you know, we've just looked at some Cowboys and we're going to talk a little bit about said Cowboys. And this was something that DripDrop the other day did on his Cowboys and crypto video. And I know some of you guys wonder why I've done some videos about what DripDrop has spoken about. And I'm just going to touch on this very, very briefly. I'm acutely aware, because I actually take time to speak to people in my comments, that not everybody watches DripDrop. Not everybody is feeling that DripDrop is their cup of tea. Some people love him. Some people think he's absolutely amazing. I think he's great. Acutely aware. I'm not everyone's cup of tea. There will be people who totally adore DripDrop and they will think I'm an asshole and don't want to listen to me. And that's it. The thing is we want everybody to get the information that is out there, so so everybody's got access to it. That's very, very unfair to say that these people cannot have access to a certain piece of information because they don't gel with a specific creator. All creators on this platform should feel that if the information is valid and just and people have a right to see it, then who gives a spit know who you are? But anyway, Cowboys. So this video was apparently taken around the time that the DoorDash situation had blown up, when they were saying about that. And it was before, a few days, possibly a couple of weeks before, they'd even said that they were looking for a white Hyundai Elantra. That was when all these things were culminating together. So the question goes as to what on earth were these people doing going into this house in this fashion? Now, bearing in mind, things are very, very raw. This is very early days, this is. And you have to question yourself as to how could anybody say that that crime scene was not contaminated? There was no contamination of it at all. You've got people who are dressed up like the cast of Brokeback Mountain walking into this house, wandering around, apparently leaving with nothing. I would imagine like DripDrop zoomed in on someone's hand. He's got something in his hand. I would say that is either a mask or potentially a glove, something like
Oh
that.
my
that he's had
God.
on in the house, and he's took the
Oh
glove
my
off.
God, that's
Which
just
that in
hilarious.
itself is quite suspect, because I think to myself, so you've not gone into the house completely suited and booted with your kind of hazmat style suit to protect yourself, but you've protected your hands because you're touching things. You're touching things with your hands, and you don't want your fingerprints or whatever to go in.
Oh,
See,
shit.
this is what makes me feel uncomfortable, because we've always questioned as to the integrity of this investigation against Brian Koberger. Where he is he in court now because of some just reason, or by just reason I mean, was there an investigation that properly led to him being there? And like, so many people feel that there's so much more coming. You're idiots because you think you've got everything. And I've asked this countless times. I never get answered. Never ever get answered. People can say till they're blue in the face that there is loads more evidence in the Idaho4 case. It's going to come out in the courts. But then when you actually physically say to them, all right then, so what do you think they've got? And I'll say it again, and please put it in the damn comments down below. What other evidence do you think there is? What other stuff do you genuinely think there is against Brian Koberger? What do you think there is? And if this was such a slam dunk fucking case, and that it was just a case of they've got...
You know what? I'm glad. I'm glad I'm not the only one that... He's saying it a hell of a lot more now. I'm not the only one that says fuck all the time anymore. That's great, man. I appreciate that.
Got his car. That can be proven beyond a reasonable doubt that's his car. They've got him probably on camera. That's what you think. And they've got this knife sheath that was there, and it was his DNA, and there's no issues with that situation either. Then why have you got these people entering in this house at this time of night in this fashion? Why? And why are they they're clearly hiding their identity from the camera. They don't want their faces on camera.
Yeah. The dude the dude trying to get into the back van, jiggle, 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 trying to squeeze through that. They're trying to get the fuck out of there. That shit was so hilarious. We went through it a couple nights ago. I was telling you guys about it. Then we saw it. They were trying to get the fuck out of there. Quick.
What is that about? Please tell me what that is about. If some of you people who feel that Brian Koberger is guilty, send him down the river, because you're the people who should be able...
It was the News Nation video that had that. We ended up watching it on somebody else's video. Can somebody send me the News Nation video? Because it was on News Nation back then. The News Nation video. I don't care about the toilet paper money. They'll get me for 30 seconds of a video. I don't care. News Nation video of the Cowboys getting into the van, and you seeing the guy getting into the back left van door, and it opens on its own. He's trying to get in there. He's trying to pull it while it's supposed to open on its own. That's why the van door stops and jiggles, and the dude has to try and squeeze through there. If somebody can send me that YouTube video, a News Nation with them on there, please send it to me. Oh, please.
People to explain these things. Why did these people not want to get caught on camera? What? Those with nothing to hide nothing, and that
squeezing like a mouse trying to get through a damn tiny ass hole because they're about to get their, stumped a foot on them or something. It just squeezing the fuck through.
Lose their face. They must understand why the media was there. The media were there because this was a brutal killing where 4 young adults lost their lives.
Oh.
And that was going to be a media hive for a while. It still is.
Yeah, they did a few.
So when you're a law enforcement officer and you go in there, what did you do? You went there at night because you thought that there was less chance of there being a heavy media presence, but you needed to get in there. You needed to get in there. You went in there, but you weren't dressed appropriately to go in there. And you come out...
Yes, when I do my drawings, this is how I'm going to do my drawings, everybody. I'm going to draw it out in pencil first. Then I'm going to fill it in with marker. Then I'm going to fill it in with colors and shading with colors. And it's going to be a 3D type picture. All my pictures that I do for my art are 3D type pictures. So, and I'm gonna even open up stuff where if you guys want to purchase a drawing of a picture you want me to draw, I will do that as well. Because if you want personal pictures, things like that, if if you're interested in the drawings, in the art, if you want to purchase pictures that you would like me to do for you, I will do those as well. And what I can do is I can even do them on a private show or a live show. And what you can do is when you purchase the drawing that you would like me to do, I'm also going to make a video of the drawing. So you not only have the drawing itself and the picture, but you also have the video of it being created from a blank piece of paper until completion. You will have not only the picture, but the process of the picture you can watch as well. I think it'll be a really cool type of merch that you can get, something that's personal, and something that you can actually watch it take place, and you get that as part of the picture package. So once I start doing the drawings for you guys, if you enjoy them and you would like me to do them, I would definitely. Art has always been a passion, and I just love doing it. So,
what seems to be clenching gloves in your hand?
Yeah, there was something weird
that would say that you're either removing
in that left hand clenching in his hand. There was something in it. And then he had like a phone in his back left pocket, a wallet in the back right pocket. You could tell from the wear on the jeans that it was a wallet spot. The phone, you could tell, was sticking out of the back left pocket. It's a phone, it's a phone. Our phones are this big now, right? That's sticking out of a pocket. He definitely had something in his hand that was wider than his fingers, because the fingers didn't cover the black part inside of his hand. So I saved the picture. I can show you guys the picture after we're done here with this video. Then I'll go ahead and do the read through. But we'll be going into the Cowboys and the GrubTruck with Unravel
stuff, or you're taking stuff in there. And then when you come out, you do everything in your power to cover your face so you're not seen.
Right.
Why would you not interact with the media?
I
Even
need
if
a
it's
cowboy
just to
hat.
say we are continuing
I need a cowboy hat for a show so I can, do the good day
to investigate the Idaho4 case, and that has brought us to come back here this evening. We can't tell you any more than that, but be a face for it. Be forward, be up front, instead of cloak and dagger and shady. Because when you act cloak and dagger and shady, people will then wonder what
cute.
is going on.
That's cute.
And people might turn around and say, well, they don't need to explain. But it's not about needing to explain. It's how people carry themselves. It's how they act. It's how they behave. In this case, every single person who is on the opposition against Brian Kohberger, and I mean the prosecution, the law enforcement, everybody who's on this side of the fence, don't seem to be acting proper. And by proper, I mean, like we spoke briefly about in the Delphi case, you're seeing the same thing there. You've got them saying we just keep getting a drip, 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 and we need this to be concrete. We need this to be solidified, a date to say we need everything, we need it by then and sort it out. And we're seeing the same situation over in Idaho where they're not given 7 times Brian Kohberger's legal team assist with them being able to build their defense, and that is wrong. And then you've got these sort of situations where you've got people entering themselves into this property and then hiding themselves. You've got the situation where apparently officers were interviewing certain people around this case in the Idaho4 case and attending the autopsy. And that's why Ann Taylor was asking for the records, because they used an excuse that these people, these officers, were in these positions because they specialized in it. But yet the autopsy recording where that officer was in that recording can't be found. Like there isn't a recording of Brian Kohberger's interview when he was arrested. And Taylor then goes and says, I want the trainer records then. You're telling me that these people are interviewing these people specifically, and they're going and spending time at this coroner's office with the coroner, and the recording doesn't exist. You don't know whether it exists anymore. I want to see the trainer records that say that they should have been there, why they were there. It's just, the more you look at these things, the more something don't sit right. Something's dodgy. There's so many things in there that don't sit right, and there's so many people with a head in the sand not wanting to admit to it.
Right. It's been dodgy from the very freaking get-go. From the very get-go is dodgy. All right, let me blow this up a little bit for you guys so I can kind of show you the photo better. Here we go. Blow it up better for you. All right, so you can see if it would get rid of this like plus minus thing, that'd be great. There we go. Okay, what do I have to do to get rid of it? Okay, there. I'll just leave my cursor there. All right. You can tell. See how in the left hand, right? You can tell in the left hand there's something that's wider than his fingers. Okay, because you can see the outline of the item. His fingers don't cover it. What it is, I don't know. He's definitely got something in his front pocket. I assume it's a weapon. I've carried a weapon in my front pocket before. The back right pocket, you can tell from the wear on the jeans that it's a wallet pocket. It's a wallet pocket that is used often. That's why there's wear and tear on that certain section. Anybody that wears a wallet in the back of their pants knows what I'm talking about. The back left, that's a phone. That's a phone. What's up, Jojo? How you doing today? West Australia, thank you for hopping in. Yeah, we talked about it a few nights ago as well, Stardust, when we were going over that video. If anybody does have it and you send it to me, let me know, please. evilcj@gmail.com, evilcj on Discord, evilcj at Twitter. You can send it to either one. A phone in the back left, a wallet in the back right, possibly a weapon, flashlight in the front. What, and who knows what's in the hand? It's hard to tell. I think he has a weapon too. I've carried a weapon in my pocket. I don't know. I need that video if anybody can send it to me. The News Nation video of the Cowboys when they left. And let me know where you sent it to me if you sent it. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and read the article here. And let me shrink it down a little bit. All right, so we're going to read this. And then we'll get back to all that stuff. And let me see here 1 second. If you want to unravel, I'll go ahead and send you the link if you want to join as well. I know you're busy too. All right, so I'm going to read a little bit at a time. And 1 second. I'm going to read a little bit at a time, and then I'll get back to your chat. Unfortunately, I only... Thank you, Unravel. I appreciate the link for that. There we go. There's the video from News Nation. I just work off of one, so I'm not really able to see chat too much when I read the articles. But we'll be having some upgrades coming up here soon, so I will be able to do that here soon. After The Eyes of a Killer Part 6. After a few false leads, a grieving father turned amateur sleuth discovers the prosecution's hidden ace. By Howard Blum, October 7th, 2023. Reading time 21 minutes. People say time heals all wounds. They tell you you'll get over it, but they never buried their child. That stays with you. It works on you. It sinks in deep and never lets go. Solace, not a chance. But still you try. You discover anger. You vow vengeance. New theories are irresistible. They hold the promise of elixirs. You go all out, hot pursuit. But here's the rub. Doesn't help. When you know it, it's not enough. It's the armor you've erected to keep from constantly screaming, why? Because why is beyond your reach, an equation that can't be solved. There will never be an answer that makes sense, yet the question will always command your thoughts. In the end, it's all that matters. And without this knowledge, without the excavation of reason or faith or purpose that understanding can offer, things will not hold together. Gravity has failed and you're forever falling. Man, those are amazing words. Exculpation. Kaylee Concalves had solved the mystery. All evening it had been gnawing at her. The disconcerting image fixed in her mind. Actually, it had first grabbed her earlier that afternoon, October 5th, 2021. A surprisingly cool Tuesday in the pleasant university town of Moscow, Idaho. A day when the sudden drop in temperature was the first unwanted reminder that a glorious Indian summer was over and the Northwest winter would soon be closing in. After classes, Kaylee, who loved to shop, and her boyfriend at the time, Jack DeCour, had headed to the Walmart Supercenter on Pullman Road, just a quick drive from the University of Idaho campus. The warehouse store was vast and ugly, situated atop acres of black asphalt parking lanes like a stolid concrete fortress. But it sure had a lot of stuff. You could pretty much find anything. The two students had been wandering through the maze of harshly lit aisles when Kaylee first noticed the grandmotherly woman. She had a pale, stringy hair and the bewildered look of someone trapped in a situation she couldn't quite understand. But more unnerving was the animal straightness of the woman's stare. She fixed Kaylee with a gaze and held it, way past anything that could be considered polite, or for that matter, normal. True, it wasn't threatening, but it was decidedly odd. Only in retrospect would Kaylee decide it had been the Sheen. Then when Kaylee and DeCour were at the checkout counter, she happened to look up absently, only to discover that the woman, now standing at rigid attention with her back to a wall of shelves, had once again homed in on her with the same unremitting stare. It was creepy. What is up with her? Kaylee wondered. And now, hours later, she knew she had just seen the face again, this time of a missing person flyer. The woman, Kaylee was convinced, was Sharon Archer, a frail 62-year-old encumbered by diabetes and brain damage who had abruptly vanished a week earlier from the house she shared with her husband up north in Coeur d'Alene. The couple's car, a 2003 white Toyota Highlander, was missing too. No one knew what happened, and in the absence of real information, increasingly feverish internet speculation flourished. The scenarios ran the gamut from a mental breakdown to more fanciful schemes involving abduction or murder. By now, Kaylee knew. At 10:25 that night, just moments after all the pieces had clicked into place in her mind, Kaylee promptly telephoned the Moscow Police Department. She spoke to Sergeant Dustin Blaker, telling him she was convinced she spotted the woman, and then for good measure, she sent an email with the missing person notice attached. Despite the late hour, the sergeant a barrel-chested weightlifter, was just over a year on the force. Consciously went to work. Officers were dispatched to the Walmart parking lot, and they combed its darkness recesses for the telltale Toyota. At the time, calls were made to the local hotels asking if a woman matching Sharon Archer's description had checked in. Both searches were futile, and accessing the Walmart surveillance camera videos proved to be nettlesome. It had to be postponed until the next day, and then it, too, turned out to be another dead end. As it happened, it wasn't Kaylee's call that solved the mystery. More than 2 anxious weeks passed before an angler perched on a dock noticed a bulky shape entombed in the lead gray depths of Fernan Lake, a popular fishing spot about a 10-minute drive from downtown Coeur d'Alene. When police lifted a white Toyota Highlander from the water, a body lay inside. The autopsy identified the corpse as Sharon Archer, and while the specific circumstances of her grim death remain conjectural, no foul play has been charged. The investigation into the case petered out, soon to be overtaken by fresh tragedies. No one knew what happened, and in the absence of real information, increasingly feverish internet speculation flourished. Only now, in December 2022, a little more than a previously unimaginable year later, the Sharon Archer case and the minor role his daughter played in the hunt suddenly reared up in Steve Gonçalves' newly agitated mind as if summoned. Signposts as he searched for the means to make his way through the battering pain of his own bereavement. For Steve and his wife and their remaining 4 children have been brought low. Less than a month earlier, in the dreary pre-darkness of November 13th, 2022, Kaylee, her best friend Maddie Mogan, who might as well have been another daughter to him and his wife, and 2 other University of Idaho students, Zaina Kernoodle and her boyfriend Ethan Chapin, were gruesomely unalived in a house a stone's throw from the heart of the campus. The unknown unaliver, or unalivers, he wondered, was still at large. It was an incomprehensible loss and an unfathomable crime. Steve struggled to make sense of his emotions. In the aftermath of his daughter's unaliving, his inchoate anger roiled, raw and unfettered. One day he railed with an uncomprehending anguish at the cosmic injustice of it all. You can't imagine sending your girl to a college and they come back in an urn, he grieved openly to a group of reporters. You're numb. You can't absorb the amount of pain and agony. Next, he chose to target the caprice, and if not lackadaisical manner which he had decided law enforcement was attempting to solve the unalivings. I don't feel confident, he responded with a vehement candor when asked on a news show about the police investigation, and that's why I pushed the envelope and say a little bit more. Yet, even as he made himself available to nearly every journalist who reached out to him, Steve couldn't help feeling he'd confide to a friend. At all his heartfelt proclamations, everything he had been calling necessary truths added up to little more than a sort of self-indulgence. His public sharing of his anguish and misgivings gave him little comfort. I hate to be that guy, he would say. Even more disheartening, after all his years as a father of devoting himself full-time to doing what he thought best for his children, he was confronted with the devastating reality that there was nothing more he could do for Kaylee. Nor could he identify a clear-headed strategy to leave his grieving family forward. Never had he been so unprepared, and yet never had his family needed so much. His grieving family needed him like never before. But he couldn't figure out how to lead them forward. He was at a loss. And that's the time when it hit him with a jolt. For no apparent reason at all, he suddenly found himself recalling the frenetic speculation surrounding Sharon Archer's disappearance and how his daughter had unhesitantly thrown herself into the investigation, and with her actual participation, now a detective, a barrier had in effect been crossed. What had previously been a diversion had become real. It dawned on him that he too had been transformed into a character in an even more poignant and notorious true crime story, a perplexing mystery that had captured the nation's attention. For weeks he had been struggling on, no dogma, only emotion. It was as if he'd been letting himself be tossed around by the surging waves of breaking news, but now he knew what he would do. He would do it because for a father, no sacrifice is too great, and a father's duty to his child never ends, not even with her unalive. He would do it because, while he was a man alone, with his family support and assistance, they became a force whose commitment and focus was greater than anything that the so-called authorities could muster. He would do it because to walk any other path would be weakness or even cowardice. And he would do it because it is what his beloved KK would do, and he tried to do. He would solve the case. Going public. And as Steve's investigation rumbled forward, it was just a brief matter of time, a week or two at most, before his quest became inextricably intertwined with another amateur's own deep dive into the events of that fateful November night in Moscow, and perhaps this alliance had been preordained too. For just as fathers are often drawn to follow in their daughters' footsteps, so do daughters on occasion take to emulating their dads. Yet, as Olivia Vitale tells it, she never paid much attention to how her father earned his living. The fact that he'd been a hard-charging crime reporter in his native Chicago, Olivia explained to me, and then had gone on to a career as both a reporter and editor in Los Angeles, had not made much of an impression on her when she was growing up in Washington State. Her parents divorced, and his occupation in a distant city was irrelevancy amid the bustle of her own life. Or so she thought, but now she was beginning to suspect that perhaps biology was indeed destiny. For back then, a precocious 22-year-old working in real estate in Florida, Vitale had been inexplicably drawn to the flurry of media accounts recounting the brutal unalive of Gabby Petito by her fiancé as the freewheeling young couple had vanned across the country. Not constrained by any formal journalistic training or experience, she posted personal, empathetic, yet carefully researched videos about the case on TikTok and YouTube, and she didn't stop posting when this mystery was put to rest and had vanished from the front pages. Crime, unfortunately, is a growth industry, and Olivia shrewdly hitched a ride on the comet tail of this zooming business. Inventive and persistent, Vitale chased one confounding case after another, and within a year or so, the chronicles of Olivia were pulling in tens of millions of viewers. And I appreciate her channel too. By the time she was 25, Vitale was one of the go-to sources for a generation who got their crime stories down dirty dishy from the internet, and one of her avid followers had been Kaylee. I've been subbed to her for a long time too. I totally appreciate her shout out. Steve had discovered this connection when he and his oldest daughter, Olivia, were assiduously checking out Kaylee's phone for clues. Ever since he had decided to sweep all the extraneous emotional debris cluttering his mind aside and instead to live by his wits, he'd been on the hunt. The two of them had gone through the list of contacts, reached out to Kaylee's friends, and helped to reconstruct the last hours of Kaylee and her best friend, Maddie, information they shared with authorities. They had also discovered a persistent series of calls in the wee hours of that morning from Kaylee to her ex-boyfriend, Jack DeCour. Calls that had gone unanswered. Star-crossed young romance, or could it be something more ominous? Steve quickly passed the intelligence on to the cops. Yet, when the Moscow PD similarly hooked Jack up to a lie detector and administered a DNA swab to compare with evidence found at the crime scene, he passed both examinations with flying colors. according to one of Steve's friends. Steve, however, was still not completely assuaged. Nothing about the Unalives made any sense, and so everything seemed possible. And so when grieving Jack came to the Goncalves' home not long after the events to pay his respects, Steve gravely demanded that the young man submit to the indigeneity of a physical inspection. Jack promptly rolled up his sleeves, lifted his shirt, exposed his neck, and displayed his hands, both palms up and down, while Steve meticulously searched in vain for a telltale scratch or bruise. But Steve was not done. Caught up in his newfound forensic professionalism, he took a series of photographs documenting Jack's unblemished state. It was exculpatory evidence that would come in handy, he felt, as the authorities proceeded to compile their list of suspects. And with that bit of awkward business out of the way, the two grieving men finally embraced. In the days that followed, Steve tracked down Hunter Johnson, Chapin's frat brother and best friend. Just before noon on November 13th, Johnson had been summoned by the two distraught survivors to the King Road house, where he had discovered Ethan's body. Days later, he gave his eyewitness account to Steve as a soldier might, straightforward, factual, and without either embellishment or emotion. It was only when he finished that the two men, both overwhelmed, at last convulsed into tears. Steve also made a point of knocking on the doors of the houses adjacent to the Unalive scene and interrogated the neighbors. He was going where he felt he had to go, but his mission had not produced the desired result. Over a month had passed and there had been no arrest, only vague statements about a missing Hyundai Elantra that had been spotted near the King Road house the night of the crime. The authorities had yet to name a suspect. It was infuriating. The prospect of his daughter's unaliving become one more cold case was torture. But as much as he needed to see a perp being led off in handcuffs, he was also chasing after something else. He needed to know why. Why these kids? Why this house? Why had this nightmare enveloped his family's life? For his own peace of mind, he required a motive, and without this knowledge, nothing in his life from November 13th onward would ever make sense. It was, he'd explained, those currents of frustration and perplexity that pushed him nearly 6 weeks after the crime to double down on his detective's mission. He decided he was done with working quietly on the sidelines. He made up his mind to go public, to proclaim his new ambitious vocation, and to ask for help. He would make a public appeal, because Steve was certain that even if the police had failed to locate them, there had to be people out there who knew more than they were sharing. People, particularly students with some dodgy antics to hide, might be more willing to whisper secrets to a mourning father than a judgmental officer, which is, And with his plan set in his mind and a affirming nod to Kaylee's memories, Steve reached out to Olivia. Olivia thought it was a hoax, one more internet fabrication. She did not believe that Kaylee's father had actually contacted her, and so she didn't respond. But it kept nagging at her. Was it possible that the email had been sent by Steve? And if so, could she be on the verge of a scoop? And so, with the diligence that belied her 25 years, she tracked down Olivia, who confirmed that it was in fact her father's email address. Excitedly, Olivia wrote back. It was pragmatically brief courtship. Both would profit from the Goncalves' appearance on Chronicles of Olivia, and more serendipity, Olivia was already in Moscow. It'd be just 90 minutes straight up I-95 north to the Goncalves' home. The meeting was quickly arranged. Vital was filled with trepidation, and she and her producer, Bullhorn Betty, that was her internet, set up inside the family's yellowish living room for the interview with Steve, Olivia, and Christy and Kaylee's mother without any network imprimatur. Vital but had landed the sort of scoop that a generation earlier would have gone to Barbara Walters, but the Idaho Unalives was a story owned by a breed of journalists and an event sustained by the nonstop fulsome attention it received on the internet. Dude, some of the words you used, bro. The Goncalveses sit shoulder to shoulder on the couch in their living room. Vital, who sits off camera, is a polite, disembodied voice asking the questions. But there's a hesitancy to her probing. It is as if she acknowledging that she's intruding, that she doesn't belong in the house of grief, and her reaction is understandable. Steve's face is grave, solemn, and expressionless, as blank and flat as an empty piece of paper. Watching the tape of the interview, one can feel the harsh tension in the room. Will the Goncalveses reconsider or order Vital and her producer to turn off the camera? It seems very possible, even likely. And then something remarkable happens. The Goncalveses seem to surrender, perhaps accepting the absurdity of the situation, of their sitting in their living room talking to a stranger young enough to be one of their children about the innermost feelings with a video camera aimed at them like a weapon. A restraining wall comes tumbling down, and like all mourners, they begin to talk about the past. The heartfelt memories of Kaylee pour out. Yet Steve has not forgotten his agenda, and he is soon back in the present. He wants to let the complacent authorities know what they can expect from him. He wants them to understand that if they can't get the job done, he will. Staring into the camera, he proclaims with an earnest passion, "We're not going to bed and wait for other people to solve a family problem. This is a family problem." And he continues to drive home the point that he's on the case. Quote, "We are not going to sit here and let someone else do a job that we can add value to." He's determined, as he puts it, to make an impact, to listen to what people are saying and to be a part of solving it. He needs to feel, he volunteers with affecting candor, in that I gave it my all, I did everything I could. Yet he also acknowledges his limitations. He openly appeals for help in his hunt to find the unalive persons. This takes a whole community, it takes all of us to solve. "This is on us," Steve says, staring into the camera that has now become his ally, focusing directly on his audience. Are we going to let these people exist? And then, if the entire hour-long interview has built to this uttering in single terse, yet unflinching pronouncement, and with his face as somber as a graveside's mourner, he states, "I'm telling you right now, we're coming for you." It's as much a warning to the person who committed the crime as it is an ineluctable vow to himself. However, 2 days after the interview was posted online, a 28-year-old graduate student in criminal justice at Washington State University was arrested at her parents' home across the country, or at his home across the country in Pennsylvania. Brian Koberger, just 2 days after, was swiftly extradited back to Idaho and charged with the unalives of the 4 students. Steve's hunt was over before it had truly begun. He could at last hope to find a measure of peace, or could he? The doleful 1-year anniversary of the unalives is looming, and the parents of the victims, if their public utterances accurately reflect the spiritual accommodations they've forged, have managed to find ways of existing with memories. For Jeffrey Kernodle, Zaina's father, the process had involved a sort of benign surrender. "This happens, you know. What do you do?" he said on CBS show before answering his own question. "You can't do a damn thing." Stacy and Jim Chapin, Ethan's mother and father, have meanwhile sought solace by setting up a foundation, Ethan smiled, that will award scholarships to honor their son's memory. The charity is funded largely by the sale of bright designer mix-up of tulip bulbs, sweatshirts decorated with flowers, and fresh-cut tulip bouquets. The Chapins live in Washington State's Skagit Valley, the flowering heart of the nation's tulip industry. But Steve Goncalves has found neither resignation nor acceptance. The arrest of a suspect, in fact, has brought not a sense of finality, but only broadening resentments of further nagging questions. For one thing, he remains determined to make sure the authorities have arrested the right man, and while he has grown increasingly convinced that Koberg was involved in the crime, Steve remains open to the possibility that others might also have been involved, according to texts provided to Airmail. It seems to him quite possible that there were more perpetrators in the house on King Road on the night his daughter and her friends were unalived, and if there were, they must be at large. He is furious that Koberger's trial, which has been scheduled to start October 2nd, has been postponed indefinitely. He fears he's complained that the trial won't occur for many months or even years, and he's particularly incensed by the non-nonsense gag order that severely limits what the law enforcement authorities, the lawyers, and the families of the victims can publicly say about the case. It is not just that he deems this a violation of his fundamental constitutional rights. Rather, the paucity of specific intelligence has created a vacuum that's being filled by rumors, half-truths, and crackpot lies. And once these malignant seeds are planted, they grow tall and wild on the internet. That's why you got to have more evidence for shit that, you know what I'm saying? You have to have more of. It's about respect for the families. It's about respect for the victims. Do your homework. Steve needs answers, not rumors. And so, despite the arrest of a subject, he has not abandoned his quest. And it's not simply vanity, the belief that one middle-aged guy with only a background in IT can get to the bottom of things. It's fear that propels him, the fear that if he waits passively for the cops finally to share what little they have managed to uncover, it might be too late. The remaining unidentified perpetrators will have gone to ground, and justice will not be secured. Nor will he ever get this terrible satisfaction of knowing the whole story. He will never achieve the state of grace that comes. He wants to believe with understanding a motive. He will never know the answer to the question at the beating heart of the case. Why? And so for the past year, he has plowed on. It has not been easygoing or always fruitful. For one example, early on, an enticing tip came his way, according to the text from a source he described as a jailhouse snitch. It was a tale that offered to tie up all those loose ends of the case, and spurred on by that promise, both Steve and the private detective he had hired fanned out with their inquiries into several states, energized by the intoxicating possibility that he was on the verge of accomplishing what the professionals had failed to do. But in the bitter end, it was nothing more than an elaborate con, a malicious scheme to squeeze some money out of a grieving family's misery. The experience was demoralizing. Yet Steve persevered only to be conned again. A grainy light bulb cam video of the King Road neighborhood came his way that proved Koberger wasn't the lone unaliver. It was only after he went to some expense and hired a professional videographer to examine the recording that he conceded it was a fake. Interesting. Then there was his decision to leak a timestamp video of another vehicle tearing away from a street adjacent to the murder house just before dawn on the morning of the unalives to one of the true crime internet sites. His logic was that it was very possibly game-changing evidence that needed official scrutiny, but this video too was also deemed fake, and in the end his tangent role in this dissemination became a bit of an embarrassment. Signed, Steve came to two unwavering conclusions. 21 minutes, my ass. One of the internet's theories suggested that a substance ring had been involved in the unalives were ludicrous. No pro is going to rough up someone not knowing who is all in the house. He texted a friend. They were, he pointed out, usually only 3 girls in the King Road house. His daughter, who had completed all her coursework and were graduating in January, had just come down to Moscow for the weekend on a whim to show Maddie her new Range Rover. Explained to me how a hitman missed Ethan and Kaylee's new car. A professional would have been daunted by the presence of 2 additional people in the house that night. It's a very good point. As for the rumors of a substance deal gone bad being the underlying motive, Steve had been told by the authorities that the toxicity reports on all 4 of the victims established that they had no substances in their system. There you go. Besides, if they wanted to score some substance there was no need to get involved with a street dealer. These kids pointed out could go down to a street, and in 8 miles there was a store where they could easily make a buy. 2, there are some crazy people who are really crazy who are trying to elbow their way into the case with deliberate misinformation. But not all of Steve's investigative efforts have been in vain. He had assembled a routine of blue-chip sources that he revealed to several friends, included an FBI agent in the St. Louis office who had shared his personal email so that his bosses in the Bureau wouldn't learn that he was communicating with Steve. A handful of additional sympathetic law enforcement officers, most helpful of all, a conduit of 2 of the grand jurors who had been on the panel that had voted to indict Brian Kohberger. And in the process, he had compiled some startling revelations, hard-won information that he triumphantly disclosed to his newfound internet associates. Kohberger had purchased a dark blue Dickies long-sleeve work uniform at the Walmart in Pullman, Washington, not long before the crime took place, Steve learned. The authorities had a copy of the $49.99 receipt. They also know he had a theory to explain how Kohberger had managed to escape from the scene without a scratch or without leaving an incriminating drop of his own red stuff in his getaway car or his apartment. He had worn the work uniform during the crime and then had disrobed before he got behind the wheel of his Hyundai Elantra for his circuitous drive back to his apartment. Why not just say chaotic? Perhaps the authorities hypothesized he had stuffed the work suit into a plastic garbage bag and then shoved it into his trunk. Right. And then there's no DNA on that. Give me a damn break. Only there was no sign of the Dickies outfit. The police had looked high and low, but they couldn't find it, just as they couldn't locate the weapon. They had a receipt of a K-bar knife he had purchased online months before, but this too had seemingly vanished. As long as the 2 crucial pieces of evidence remained unavailable, Steve feared the building case against Kohberger would remain more open than shut. Even more troubling, if true, was what Steve had learned from the people who had spoken to members of the grand jury who had been presented with the prosecution's case. It centered on the alleged behavior of the 2 roommates who had miraculously survived the night unscathed. How, he wondered, could they have slept blissfully unaware through the savage pre-dawn stabbing murders of 4 people in a narrow house with paper-thin walls. Later, police affidavit revealed that one of the survivors, DM, had in fact heard noises and left her room only to spot a masked, darkly clad intruder making his way through the residence before she retreated to her room and did not summon help for another 8 hours for reasons that have not been revealed. Yet Steve has been told the 2 survivors allegedly had not only been awake while the unalivings were taking place, but they had heard everything. 8 hours. More astonishingly, his grand jury sources alleged that the 2 girls had been texting one another as the unaliving methodically went from one room to the next. The possibility that 2 people had a sense of the horror while it occurred had not acted, calling neither friends nor 911 left Steve floored. And no less confounding, they had, if his sources were as knowledgeable as he believed, then let hour after hour after hour tick away before they finally decided to summon friends. It added an entirely new band of mystery to a crime that was already bound by unanswered questions. Also, so Steve intensified his efforts to get answers, and in that dodge process, he came to the belief that the government must have a protected source, an informant who could provide testimony that would tighten the screws that held together the case against Kohberger. Steve was determined to talk to them. He did not want to wait for trial to get knowledge he needed for his peace of mind. He needed relief now. After some digging, he grew convinced that he had the informant in his sights. He was preparing to reach out to this individual, to get right in his face and confront him. He would explain that he was empowered by a father's natural right to understand fully the last moments of his daughter's life. In fact, it was his duty. It was an argument he felt that no one could reject, and at last he would know the whole story of what really happened to Kaylee and why. But before he could make his move, before he could get in a room and have a heart-to-heart talk with the witness, he was unexpectedly stopped in his tracks by the FBI. The Bureau had sent an official letter to Steve's attorney in Moscow, Shannon Gray, warning that if there were any attempt to contact the individual Steve had been pursuing, there would be legal consequences. The witness had originally reached out to the authorities through a tip line that promised to protect the identities of anyone volunteering information. and the Bureau was duty-bound to honor the commitment. And the letter went on to make clear, with an intimidating force, that the fact that Steve was the father of one of the victims gave him no dispensation from legal consequences that accompanied tampering with the government witness. Stymied, Steve sculled away. The promise of real understanding was out there, yet still tantalizingly beyond his grasp, and with the setback, he fell into a period of stasis, racked by frustration and despair. All he could do was send a disheartened text to one of his fellow internet detectives. There is so much more to this story. This is in the media. Memories live in the past. Dreams, however, are part of an idealized vision of what the world might become. In dreams, as the poet noted, begin responsibilities, they hold the future. And so, thwarted in his sleuthing, still staring with bitterness at hard mysteries he cannot crack, Steve has expanded his focus. If he cannot conduct the investigation provoked by his memories of his daughter, he will at least ensure that at some distant appointed time there will be a measure of justice. Therefore, on the Goncalves' family Facebook page, he, his wife, and his daughter Olivia, along with other relatives, appear in hoodies displaying a stately message: "Justice for Kaylee." House Bill 186, shots fired. The Idaho State Legislature Bill 186, passed last spring, affirmed that if chemicals required for an intravenous execution were unavailable, a death sentence could be fulfilled by a firing squad. It is an unforgiving promise Steve is making. Yet, can I, a father too, cavalierly criticize the wild dimensions his bereavement encompasses? Who am I to challenge the intensity of his grief? How can I dare to point out the terrible irony in avenging the unaliving with the unalive? In the end, all I can do is acknowledge what a strange, frightening tale was set in motion on that night in Moscow last November, and that Steve, too, has become another victim, and that his future is now hate. These are words from Howard Bloom. The article, The Eyes of a Killer, Part 6. 21 minutes, my ass. I'm just going to say that right now. 21 minutes, my ass. So I was trying to save all you guys' chat so I could get to it after I was done doing the read-through. Sorry about that, Unravel. I honestly thought there was only going to be a few more minutes when you hopped in backstage, and it felt like another damn hour, so I apologize about that.
That's all good.
Let me get to chat here. Oh. Ooh. What'd you think of the article?
Very interesting.
Now, these are Howard Bloom's words. Like Yoli was saying last night, you know, this is a media, you know, it is media. So just keep in mind, it's not first person. We're not hearing certain things from Steve. This is through Howard Bloom. So, you know, just keep that in mind when it comes to what we just read.
All right.
Let me see here. Just get to chat here real quick. The Cherokee, thank you for hopping in. Excuse me. Yeah, I feel like the GrubTruck. Good. Hey, Lulu, how you doing? Thank you for hopping in. How you doing? That's why I feel like the GrubTruck and the body cams, there's shit going on. The group.
I completely agree.
The group. Just going through chat here real quick. And then we'll get into that video. What do you want to get into first, Unravel? Do you want to get into the Cowboy stuff? You want to get into the GrubTruck stuff? What do you want to get into first? I'll leave it up to you.
It really doesn't matter to me. I mean, the Cowboy stuff would be faster.
Thank you, Lulu. Yeah, we can get to that. Let me see what this super sticker is. Thank you for that, Lulu. A hairdo that turns into a heart. That's so cool. I never seen that one before. Thank you for the support. Appreciate that. Fill those Howard Bloomers approved by Steve. If Howard says anything right, Steve would let him know. I mean, I feel the same way too, for sure. But, like Yoli said, it isn't firsthand information. It would be like, who knows, man? It's like a 95% kind of thing. 95, yeah, 5. You just gotta you gotta take it with a grain of salt too, for sure. All right, 1 second here. All right, so I'm gonna click on that. Thank you for the link for that that cowboy video that we can watch here.
No problem ever.
Stop being in Discord. What is it doing? I definitely need to save it. Where's that? StreamYard's bugging. Give it a second, please. So this is that video. I'll show you guys that picture. Here's the picture. We were looking.
Maybe try exiting out of some stuff.
Oh, we're good. It's fine now. No, I used to be able to run the show before the fire took place. I used to run the show with like 8 or 9 tabs. It was cool, Now I'm basically running StreamYard in the tab for the video and the tab for the picture, and that's it. And it's the inside workings. I think that there's other things going on with the PC, like freezing up and things like that. But so what do you think's in this picture? I'm thinking phone back left, wallet back right, a weapon, a pistol in the front right, and
I think it's gloves in his hands. He walked out with gloves on, and then the camera was swinging or something, and now he has, I think, that are gloves in his hand.
You think that's a glove?
Yep. If you go back to when he was walking out, you can see the gloves.
You can see the gloves? Okay. Yeah, we'll definitely check it out. There is no claim to make, Stardust. What I thought was insurance in the fine print was not necessarily insurance for what took place. So unfortunately, yeah. So no, there is no claim. It's called you just replace it. Is what it is. Okay, so let's go to that video. And you're saying that when he's walking out, so you think it's a glove in his left hand?
I think it's both the gloves. Yeah, he had them both. They all had gloves on.
Yeah, but if you look at this pic, that's kind of squarish in his left hand. That's pretty squarish.
Just wait until he walks out. You'll see.
Okay. Just wait until he walks out. All right, here we go. Is it going to share it? Come on.
And about 5 plainclothes investigators, we don't know if they're local, state, federal, they were inside, and we saw a lot of activity inside the home, and the home was lit up. So we were able to peek in some of the windows, but we saw those men inside the home in the 2 particular rooms.
In the 2 particular rooms. So which room is that? Because they were going to X and E's room in the beginning. Whose room was that right there?
We were able to peek in some of the windows.
So that's the 3rd bedroom window. So they were in both of the rooms.
but
It's
we
okay.
saw those men inside the home in the two particular rooms where the murders took place. We did not see them
There he is with the gloves on.
leaving.
Yeah, I see the gloves. Stardust, I thought it was renter's insurance, but then when you got to the fine print,
Place.
it didn't cover fire.
We did not see them leaving.
So there's the gloves. I don't know how you could fit those big ass gloves in your hand and fit to that small in your hand. I don't know. I don't see it. That's just me though. Look at that. That's a lot of glove. Let me take a picture of this and I'll zoom it in for you guys. Give me 1 second. Cause I wanna be a cowboy, baby. Let me send it to myself real quick. And I'll play the rest of this here.
With any materials. I asked them a couple of times, why are they back? They did not. And they pulled away in two vehicles. One had a Washington state plate, the other had an Idaho plate. But that is all we can tell you. But we did see a lot of activity. This house was lit up for nearly an hour. They were inside. We don't know why. Nothing seemed to be removed. But as you know, Ashley, yesterday, a lot of the kids' belongings were removed by Moscow police to be returned to their families.
So I'm just watching these guys as they're walking by you. Were you asking them questions and were they effectively just ignoring you? Did they say hello? Did they say anything at all?
Not a peep. And I asked them specifically, why are you here tonight? Why are you here tonight? They did not acknowledge me. So certainly they were on a mission and they left without saying a word.
So Nancy, I just want to point out the video that we're seeing right now. Let's blow this up full because, and let's replay that if we can too. This is the investigators walking out of the kitchen area into a hallway and then walking towards the living room. So there they are. It looks like they're emerging from the kitchen area, walking towards the front of the house. That grassy sign that's on the wall right there, that's the good vibes sign. There's actually two of those signs in the house. It's very confusing. There's a good vibes sign that was lit up in Kaylee Gonsalves's room, and there's also that same grassy good vibes sign right down there that faces the front in the living room. So they're walking out of the kitchen area and walking towards the front of the house in the living room on the second floor there. But that's the first time, Nancy, that we've actually been able to see them at work inside the house.
Right. And looking inside, we did see, so many signs of a typical college life, the items that we saw, red Solo cups, we saw a beer bottle, and there you see the window with the shades drawn, but you see the shadows of them working in that room. But yeah, they were inside. They seemed to be targeted in where they were going and what they were doing, and then they left without a word. Even though I tried to get some comments out of them.
Yeah, it's curious about the kitchen because we're still trying to get confirmation as to whether, the killer entered through that back kitchen sliding door. But, listen, on a crime scene, they're going to look at every inch of that house. I am interested when you said that there was a Washington plate, because the very first thing I thought of when I saw those guys is they don't look local necessarily. And I don't say that because they don't look like they're from Idaho. It just looks like they're moving in a particularly specific way. Yeah. And this late in the game, it just screams FBI to me. And
I'm going to call them Washington Plate Cowboys. That's what I'm going to refer to them from now on.
Maybe an FBI field office that's partially from Washington, maybe an FBI field office from the Idaho area. But did you ask if they were from FBI? Or
jiggle.
They just said,
jiggle.
Squeeze,
squeeze,
they would not,
squeeze,
they would give me nothing. And I did call Moscow police, no answer, no response. So no explanation for any of this, but they were clearly inside on a mission.
25 days of process.
All right, here we go. So this is what I'm saying. That's all right. So look at how big that glove is.
But that's not the same glove.
Where's the dude?
That's not the dude.
Oh, wait. That's not the dude. Hold on.
No,
This guy
but do you
over
see
here.
what he's wearing around his neck?
Who, this guy? Yeah, a
The one in the
badge.
flannel.
Yeah, he's wearing a badge. Here, let me just bring it over a little bit. Right there. Yeah, he's wearing like a badge.
Okay, yep.
Let's see here.
The other guy's in the back.
Yeah. This guy, right? Guy trying to get in. Hold on. It's too dark. Trying to get one with better light. Give me a second. I'm almost there. All right. This is the best light that I can get, honestly. Let me see here. So here is this guy. I can't stand I have to send myself these damn things. All right. That's the best lighting I can get. And when I look at this outline over here, if you can see my cursor, and when I look at this outline right here, it seems like a thick glove. Because that's a pretty big outline of a hand.
That's not him
It's
either.
a thick glove. Which guy is it?
The one in the back.
I don't see him walk out on here. Those are the only two guys.
I think there's like 4.
Yeah, there's 4, but I don't see him necessarily walk out with the gloves. Hold on. This guy with the hoodie up. Oh, his coat looked blue to me there. Okay. Hold on. It's actually a green, not a blue. So where was he walking around with gloves?
So we were able to peek in some of the windows.
Where at on the video?
Oh,
Was he
he's
walking
by
around
the
with gloves?
trash can, and he's going underneath the caution tape,
We don't know if
and he's in the process of taking the gloves off.
Okay, this guy's got his hood up. So he's got blue gloves on right now.
I'm getting it ready and I'm sending it to you.
Okay. Okay, he goes under. So he's taking his glove off. Okay. So it's right here. As this, let's see here, it's right here. He's got his hood up. He's this guy that's standing, if you can see my cursor, standing right there.
Yep.
So he's taking his, he took his left glove off. Slips a little bit on the ice. Hold on, let me slow this down. Come on, computer. All right, here, let me open this up real quick and then we'll watch the video. 1 second. For some reason, whenever I get something in Discord, it like gives me a crazy ass zoomed up image and I don't know how to get rid of it. So you'll have to send it to me in email. That picture, unravel.
All right, I'll do it.
I don't know why Discord does that. Okay, let me see here. So this is 0.25. So he has his right glove off already, actually. Then it looks like he's taken off. Now he's got the left. Slips a little bit right there. You can see his foot kick out. He's avoiding going down the driveway because he doesn't want to fall. That's why he walks around. Now it looks like a blue coat when it was a green coat a minute ago. That's crazy. And something's going all the way up to his waist. You can tell it's about right here where there's right about here's where it ends. It's probably a flashlight.
Actually, the flashlight thing makes more sense.
Yeah, it's probably a flashlight because it looks like it comes up to about like, you can see me, it looks like it comes up to about right here. Like it's a flat, you know, like one of those, you know, LE flashlights that's, you know, it's probably just being in your pants. It's going to go up to the bottom of your rib cage, you know. A black latex glove. Yeah. It's hard to see what kind of gloves they are. It's such a distance, and
They all got different ones. One has blue.
You can't really tell. I don't know. It just, when I just look at this picture, it just seems like there's more. If you took off both your gloves, wouldn't you have both of them in one hand? I would think that the gloves would be, to me, it's something that's smaller than even, I don't know. It's too square. It's like a couple gloves, which I should just be holding up. And you'd be holding both of them if you're going to hold them in your hand. I just see it being more than a glove. I don't know. I would like to find out. Yeah, it's like so small.
I think they're two latex gloves. He just pulled them off in his. Yeah.
So gloves that might have blood. Well, he was wearing blue gloves when he was inside the house.
No, that was a different one. There's one guy that has blue gloves on. If you.
Yeah.
He has black gloves.
That guy goes around to the front right. So you don't even see the other guy then. So he doesn't even come into view. So he don't even walk through. I'm not sure. I don't know. Part of gloves. I don't know. It's interesting. Jetta from Texas. What's up? Does he walk anywhere near where glove was found? No, the glove was found in the back of the property. That too, KW. You would think. Who knows? Who knows? We're still talking about the Grub Truck because we want to talk about the Grub Truck, sir. That's why it's called the Evil CJ Show, not the John Missile Show. So if CJ wants to talk about the Grub Truck, CJ talks about the Grub Truck. Plenty of shows out there that don't talk about the Grub Truck anymore, and you're more than welcome to go join one of those. Thank you, though. Appreciate it. All right, so let me get back to this part of the video. Okay, he doesn't have gloves on there, obviously. I mean, I could see how it would be a glove, but man, it's okay. So I can go with latex. I can go with some latex gloves. But then here's my question about that then. If we're talking latex gloves, right? You were wearing latex gloves in the property that you were why are you wearing latex gloves, right? Because of substances you don't want to get on your hands. So why in the hell are you bringing those latex gloves walking with? Wouldn't you like put them in a pocket at least? Why would you want whatever's on those latex gloves to then?
I work in the medical field, and there's a way to take off the latex. You can
inside out and then wrap them around and make a ball out of it.
Yep.
Okay. I can see it. It makes the most sense if it's latex. I couldn't see any other gloves being that small in somebody's palm.
And I couldn't understand. Now I understand why you didn't think it wasn't.
Because I'm looking at these other gloves, and I'm thinking, especially with this guy's, like everybody's, even over here, this guy with the hat, right here, like even his outline of his hand, that's a winter glove. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm just assuming. Okay. I can see latex. Yeah, for sure. Let's see. Be looking for this shoulder holster. That's interesting, Jenna. Yeah, that's interesting.
See, guys like this, I would assume that if they are carrying any kind of weapons, it would be in their chest area or, rib area.
Yeah, up here. Yeah, up here, or even down in front, on your belt line. That just, it seems like they're trying to dress as plain clothed as possible. And so maybe that's why they're not wearing the gear that would hold the flashlight on their gear or something. You know, it's just
Well, if you go
in your-
look at the different people that are involved in this case, they have like a how many were there? Like 6 detectives, 5 support staff,
right.
you know, 13 investigators, 15 ununiformed troopers, and ISPA.
So who do you think these guys were?
Well, they could have been the detectives or investigators. I mean, for them not to be shaved, I don't think, you know, it'd have to be somebody like maybe detectives.
So what do you think they were doing in there? Like, there's some kind of detectives, but what do you think they were doing in there?
I don't know.
They went to both rooms. You think they were just looking for what they might have missed in the investigation?
I mean, maybe.
I doubt they were just eating pizza and hanging out and then decided to go. I would hope and imagine that they'd be more prepared than that, I'm sure.
Maybe there's a little bit of a tip or something and they wanted to go see exactly if there's something else going on or, you know.
Where the tip crime tip pages. Let me know what date it is for that. Go to it, Caddy. Man, pizza sounds good. Everybody talks about pizza all the damn time in the chat. Man, I never get
That's
pizza.
funny. We're getting pizza today.
Oh, gosh, it sounds so good. I just never get it. Oh, it sounds so good.
It's
Grease.
football day today.
Grease, I know. I wanted to do a sports show, but there's so much shit to go into. So, what's up with the GrubTruck? I know you were kind of reaching out about some shit in the GrubTruck. What did you notice?
Well, I'm still working on one thing that something to do with the camera, but it's still a work in progress because I don't know for sure yet if what I found is what it is or not. But let's see. Hold on.
I don't know if there's a legal way, KW10. That is a good question. Is there a legal way? I don't know. Is there a legal way that they have to wear their equipment and weapons? It is a good question. Did you have something on your channel?
Well, I did have a couple things on there, but I don't know. It's just more of, you know, if BK is the person, this is how I'm looking at him. But in the GrubTruck video at 3:40:59, I hear a diesel, and I'm assuming that it, well, haven't really put it together for sure yet, but it's the diesel that comes around where when they're walking.
Mm-hmm.
Because it goes that way.
Yeah, I just found all my notes and timestamps. I had lost them. I found all my notes and timestamps from the GrubTruck. So,
well, then I noticed too in the upper right corner of the video that you can see some cars passing by.
Mm-hmm. On the window in
and
the back.
I have times on those.
Nice. Because that's going to be useful going into the body cam, because those times are going to be helpful when it comes to the times of what's going on in the back of the body cam.
Yeah, and I'm not saying all the white cars are him. I'm just pointing out that there is white car in some of them. You know, not all the cars are white either. But when the girls are there, there is a white car that goes through. It like slowly goes through, and that's like, I don't know. The timestamp is 3:52:23, and I can't. I think that's about when the girls are leaving. I think it's before they leave, though.
Mm. Let's see here. Is it from a month or no? Is it a month ago?
Are you talking about for the cars?
Yeah.
I haven't done that. I haven't put it on the page yet. I actually sent it to you on Discord.
Oh, that must have been one that we went into a while back.
Are you talking about? Yeah, those were the two
GrubTruck
guys
one?
that were creeping.
Right.
If
What
you're
part
talking,
of the?
if you wanted to see the one that how I think Brian is, it's the first one down.
Yeah, give me 1 second. I was gonna try and get that Grub. Is there a certain time on that GrubTruck video that you're talking about that car? Then I can go to it. Here, we'll play this real quick.
This is how I interpret Brian. If you know.
Whoa! Hold on a second.
In the Idaho quadruple murder case, Brian Kohberger planned the perfect murder. This theory is supported by the fact that he was a PhD student in a criminology program. Like this was the plan all along. Brian would discover the secrets of law enforcement and plan this perfect crime. What Brian would have learned in the program is that it's very difficult to get away with a quadruple murder. I don't think he planned the perfect murder. I will say this, however. The fact that he was arrested does not detract from the perfect murder theory. The Idaho killer was almost certainly narcissistic. Therefore, he would want the world to know what he did. For someone who's not narcissistic, the perfect murder means getting away with it. For someone who is narcissistic, getting arrested is an inconvenient but necessary step.
Zombies like now.
Well, that's a lot.
My regulars.
Ooh.
I've been cutting his hair since July.
What?
And the first time I was ever contacted by Brian was through voicemail.
Hi, my name is Brian. Would you be able to give me a haircut tomorrow by any chance?
My last appointment with him was December 2nd at 1:45 p.m.
Not much, man. I found you today. I watched your live earlier this afternoon and been watching this one. And the thing that strikes me kind of weird about all this is that I live in a college town and I've worked with probably at least 10 Sigma Chi members. And, you know, the one thing that every single one of them I feel like has asked me is,
are you thinking this is Kohberger? Because it's not.
No. Well, I was comparing the voices is what I was doing. I actually have another video with him in court, and I was trying to compare it.
But this is a real person. He's actually been like harassed like fucking crazy and shit. Yeah, this is like.
Do you hear what he says?
Like a real person. Yeah, I hear what he said. I heard it when he was calling in on the show, and I didn't understand why the host was blowing it out to be that it was Kohberger. Because if you listen to what the caller's saying when he calls in, he's talking 10 or 15 years ago, but the host is like, whoa, that's messed up. You're in Sigma Chi, like, you know. It was that's when I quit watching the show, because I'm like, you can fucking tell the dude is, you know what I mean? Like, why is it even being blown out to be like this when
I
it
don't know.
was obvious from the call it wasn't even him, because you have to listen to the dates and the specifics. Like, if you're paying attention to the conversation and you're not distracted, the real conversation that took place, you can tell the dude is not what is being put out there. It was a stunt. It was a
I don't
stunt.
know.
And this is, no, I do know. I'm telling you for 150% fact, it's not Koberger. It's a real person. And I'm not going to name his name because he's been harassed a lot. And the dude was put into a depression that shit's real. Like, mental illness is real. And it put this dude in a depression where he was thinking some thoughts that nobody should be thinking. And there's no way that I'm going to like put his name out there. But no, I'm just going to be 150% honest with you. This dude is not Koberger, 150% fact. If you go listen to the real conversation on that person's show, and I can type it in the background, totally fine.
Oh, I did.
You can hear, you listen to the dates, and you listen, it's not, the dude was talking about the past 10, 15 years ago. He was not talking about that moment and the prior couple months. It was a stunt to get subs, and this guy's personal life was torn to shreds because of it. So I just wanted to make that clear to everybody. This is not BK.
If you were going to kill somebody, how would you get away with it? And I just wonder if
This guy was having drinks that night. He was bored. He was like, fuck it, I'll call in. Nobody should ever have to go through what this gentleman went through just because he called into a fucking live call show. Seriously.
maybe.
Yes, the shit he said was fucking crazy, but he's not BK.
If maybe this is nothing more than some kid in a fraternity trying to prove
I'm not
himself.
saying the name because the dude, you can see the interviews out there. He came out. He came out. And you can see the interviews and you can hear his story. I'm not putting his name out there, but if you do your searching, it ain't gonna take long. You'll find out who it is. You'll find out the interview where he tells you what took place, the threats he was getting, the things in his personal life, and where it put him. There's no way in hell I'm putting his name out there to add to any kind of mental illness that he received from this kind of shit going on. This is why I protect you guys like I protect you. This is why I look like an asshole sometimes in the foreground, because in the background I try and protect you from this kind of shit, so this shit doesn't exist with you guys. Yeah, the interview, like seriously, the dudes, there's no way in hell. You can do your searching, just like some of this other shit. You can do your searching.
Will you put the interview in the back chat?
I'll send it to you. I'll get it after the show. I'll send it to you, and you can watch it. Trust me, the shit's heartbreaking, and the shit that happened to him and where it put him at mentally is not a place that anybody should be driven to because of shit that takes. It's ridiculous, and it was because of subs. It was a ridiculous stunt. It was uncalled for. You're playing with somebody else's freaking life so you can make some money. It was a bunch of bullshit. Because if you listen to the damn call, the real call, I was standing in my damn living room going, why is this dude even making this caller out to be like this? Listen to the fucking conversation and don't get distracted from your other shit. If you listen to the dude, you can hear what the hell he's saying. And you can know that it's not, it was ridiculous. That's why that fucking night, I quit watching that show. Because after I saw that and I seen that take place, I was like, there is no way in fuck I am going to sit here and trust any more of this information if this is what's being spun. Because if you're going to spin some shit like that, then you're going to spin a hell of a lot of other shit. And the fact that you're using somebody else's fucking life as fucking play for your gain is fucked up. It's not cool. I quit watching the show ever since then. I have not watched it ever since. Won't watch it ever since because of that shit right there. I'm not saying his name. It ain't going to take long to find it. It ain't going to take long to find it.
I was unaware of that.
Oh, this dude came out a long time ago. And when I saw that, I was like, holy shit, dude. That's who it was. Because I always thought it might have been BK the whole time. Slightly. But when you listen to the words, because BK could have called in and said, yeah, 10, 15 years ago, right? You're saying anything. But then when you see the dude that came out and his story and what the hell took place and what he was going through, it was like, hell no. Hell no. Not cool. Especially when he tells you his story of what he was going through and where it took him. Not cool. You don't play with fucking people's lives like that. For this, for the money, you don't play with fucking people's lives like that. It's not cool. And I'm glad I quit watching that shit that day. Because it was damn right. I'm sorry. Never, I will never do that shit to anybody. Ever. Hell, you saw me go through some shit with some other fucking people. Did I ever fucking, did I ever get dirty like they did? Hell no, I didn't get fucking dirty. Will I? Of course I will. Do I try not to? Always. Don't fucking force me. I don't say 150 for no fucking reason. But sorry to go on that fucking rant, but the shit that happened to that dude was not cool. Not cool.
And that was it. So you said you worked with 5 or 6 Sigma Chi kids, and they asked you if you can kill somebody, they can get away with it? Yeah. Did I hear that right? Yeah. And I know that's a thing that just like maybe people say, trying to.
I'm not even gonna play this shit. I'm sorry. Is this the end? Is it through the whole video? The rest of it?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm just not.
That's good. I'm not.
It's just promoting the bullshit even more when it comes to that call. So I apologize. All right, so we can get to this GrubTruck video. Is there like a certain timestamp that you wanted me to go to when it came to that car?
Well, okay, if you want to see the car first.
Stardust, it doesn't matter. I'm not trying to be rude. I'm not trying to be mean or anything like that, but I'm not even gonna, it's not worth promoting even. It's not worth promoting even if it's
I'm lost here. I really don't know what's going on. All I know is I was just comparing the voices, that's all.
No, you're fine. I know. You didn't hear trust me, I'll send you the interview of the gentleman. I'll send you the interview of the gentleman, and you'll see where I'm coming from. People in chat have seen the interview. They know what I'm talking about. When you see it, you will truly understand where we're all coming from, because it's not cool. It's not cool at all. Detective, simmer down now. Yeah, it's ridiculous. All right, so that was the last night I watched the show. Because you can even go watch live chat replay. You'll see me in chat before that. You'll see me in chat during that night. And after that night, you will not see me in chat ever again. So we're at on the GrubTruck where you're talking about the car or whatever.
All right, so with the car driving by, 352.23, and you can't. Can you zoom up on it or no?
322.53.
352.
52.
23.
All right. Is this? Let me see. I have to make sure that it's the same because this is freaking alarms. This is J for Justice's video. Let me put her link in chat. 1 second.
Can you zoom up on it or no?
No, do you have a copy that is zoomed up?
Yeah.
I'm just going off of J for Justice because
right.
with the GrubTruck deep dive we did, so I figured I'd promote her again.
Well, this one's barely edited. I just wanted to I'll send it to you. I just wanted to show what it. Hold on, let me grab it.
You're welcome, Sherry. I'm sorry. Like, that's what I'm saying. That was the last night I ever watched that show. You can go watch the live chat and see me in it before that night and after. No. I would never do that to anybody. When have I? Never. Has there been opportunities for me to do shit? Yes. When have I? Never. It's the 150. Let me see here. Where'd you send it at? Discord? Oh, Caddy. Assigned resources. While we wait for that, let me assigned resources towards the bottom. This was... Let me see. Assigned resources. The Moscow Police Department is utilizing assistance from the Idaho State Police, the Federal Bureau of Investigation, and the Latah County Sheriff's Office. Assigned resources vary based on the current needs of the investigation. These numbers are approximated and do not reflect additional off-site personnel or other assistance provided. From the Moscow PD, 6 detectives, 5 support staff, communications team. FBI includes 60 personnel throughout the United States, 2 behavior analysis unit investigators, Idaho State Police, 13 investigators, 15 uniformed troopers, and ISP Forensic Services. So what? Forensic Services? Is that what we're talking?
I mean, that could be a
I love
possibility
Fruit Loops.
too. Yeah.
Oh, Fruit Loops is one of my favorite cereals. Fruit Loops and Fruity Pebbles. Yum. I love them together. Fruit Loops and Fruity Pebbles. Good shit. Well, we'll be going into that in a show coming up this week. Probably midweek Stardust as we'll be going into the Suzanne Morphew's case. I got some more stuff that I've been collecting over the last few days for another show coming up. So we will be going through that probably in midweek. We're going to be starting the body cam deep dive tomorrow. Are you available tomorrow night, Unravel? Are you available in the evenings? I know you work during the day. Right?
Tomorrow I work late, but
Do you? Are you?
I might be able to. I don't know. Depends.
Well, I can do it in the
send it
morning
to
or
your
in the
email.
evening. I'm gonna bounce back and forth with the body cam deep dive. I'm gonna do some in the daytime, some in the evening, just so everybody can kind of be included. If some aren't able to join during the day but are at night, I'm gonna be able to make it available for everybody. So let me see which one.
I can definitely listen.
Screen recording. Let me see. Download.
The last one was, I think, the better one. I tried to make it so you could see the timestamp, and then I tried to back it up to show where the girls were at and what they were doing at the time.
Let me see here.
This is just kind of a hard copy.
Okay, let me. Can I email? Shit. 1 second. I'll just save it in a folder real quick. Okay, so let me open this up. All right, give me 1 second. I got to switch the screen share to that. See, I wish you didn't have to do this when you're switching screen shares. You could just go from one to the next. It makes it a pain in the ass. All right, so Idaho4.
It's a good thing that it ended, but this is Friday and Saturday in a row.
Full
I got you
screen.
down round 1, so I'm liking it. I'm liking it a lot, guys.
Guess he's gonna fucking need extra.
Okay, so we're at, and let me get rid of my banner. Too,
I mean, that was a solid rush. It's a good thing.
Let me get rid of my banner too, because it might be blocking something.
All right, when that guy is hello?
There we go.
When that guy, you see the guy's legs, there's a street. Well, I think there's another street too. He's walking across the street, but up at the very, very top is where the car comes through. You'll see it.
At the very top.
It ended, but this is Friday and Saturday in a row. They got you down round 1, so
It's coming right now.
It's coming?
Yeah.
I'm having a hard time seeing it. Oh, there it is.
Yep.
Where in the hell? Where was that at?
This is at the GrubTruck. This is like
Hold
up
on
the
a minute.
street. I know. It's crazy, but when you got
So this is where the girls were turning to the left, right? This corner, the corner on the left side of the video. Is that the corner where the... No.
No,
that's
it
not.
would be the right side.
Where?
Where the trees are is where the girls came out.
What's this in front of us? What's this?
Trees. You know where that's there's that pharmacy that's on the left side that the lights blinking or like flickering. You'll see because I back it up.
Okay. Okay, the whole video. Let me start it from the beginning here.
nice. I mean, that was a solid rush. It's a good thing that it ended, but
Can it go big screen? Hold on. How do I make it like full screen?
It is full screen, isn't it?
No.
It's full screen.
Yeah, I guess so. Okay.
this is Friday and Saturday in a row. They got you down round 1, so I'm liking it. I'm liking it a lot, guys.
Guess he's gonna fucking need extra slot a second. This bad boy.
Tebow's thinking to himself, if I start slowing down on Mac, maybe I'll get to sit down. He's gonna try to sabotage me.
Nice.
I mean, that was a solid rush. It's a good thing that it ended, but this is Friday and Saturday in a row. They got you down round 1, so I'm liking it. I'm liking it a lot, guys.
Guess he's gonna fucking need extra slot a second. This bad boy.
Tebow's thinking to himself, if I start slowing down on Mac, maybe I'll get to sit down. He's gonna try to sabotage me.
Where's the zoom?
Wait, hold on. Keep
right at the
going.
end.
I actually am.
That's the full video.
All right. Well, then you got the wrong video. It's
Oh,
it's
okay.
the last one I sent you.
Yeah, that's
Hopefully
the
it
one
went
that I
through.
clicked on. Yeah, that's the one that I clicked on. A second here, because I got two of them. One was at 141, and then I used the one from 142. Let me see here. Let me go. So I'll go to the 141.
It should have been the longer
I got
video.
it downloaded.
Okay.
Actually, I got two of this. Wait. I did the no, they're the same video. I got two of the same. I got the hold on, I gotta stop this because it's playing again. 1 second. How do I stop this? Where's it playing? Where is it playing? Oh, okay, there we go. Yeah, I got the video that ends in 220902. I got two of those. So whatever the other one is, this one's 220902. Is this somebody else's video?
What do you mean by that?
I see somebody else's name on the video. I was just looking. Oh, okay.
Well, I only did that for the timestamp.
Okay.
I just sent another one. I think this is the one. I don't know.
Yeah, I won't be able to use that video. Sorry. There we go. Yeah, I won't be able to use that video. That content creator will issue. So apologize about that. So there was the white car pulling up. Now it was at the 53.
I just sent the other one where you could see where the girls are
Yeah,
at.
is it? The hell? Is it the same? That's what I'm saying. Is it from the same content creator? Because I can't use it. They will issue on me for using their content. So hold on a second.
There's no
one
names.
of my fans is going crazy. Okay. Is it somebody else's video though? 1 second. I'll be right back.
Now, you guys, I'm not saying that this is for sure 100% his car. I'm just saying that there's a few white cars, but this is pretty close. It could be. I'll just say that. And being the time, it seems kind of weird. But this is when the girls loosen up a little bit and they're not, I don't know, feeling uncomfortable how I'm taking it.
Sorry, I had a fan going nuts. All right, let me check the video real quick. Let me see here, 1 second. No, what I'm saying is that certain content creator, I can't use their content is all. So let me check this out and download this real quick. 1 second.
I did slightly edit this one, or start to.
Okay, so this is 7:08. Oops, excuse me. Excuse me. Come on, computer. It's not playing. Come on. It's not even switching. All right, so now let me end this. Okay, 7:08.
Like a lot, guys.
Guess he's gonna fucking need extra slaw in a second. This bad boy.
Oh, okay.
Tebow's thinking to himself, if I start slowing down on Mac, maybe I'll get to sit down. He's gonna try to sabotage me.
I actually was wondering if I was going too slow and you were going to switch me back, and I was really scared of that. That's what I was scared of. Nope.
Yes, let that fear.
You guys know,
Okay,
like,
I see where it's at.
the
now.
highest exam I saw was 13 minutes, which is, I'm very satisfied. You guys have worked on the truck, and Derek and I have been the ones on Grill and Mac, and we've had longer ticket times than that. Like, you're doing well.
It's interesting.
I got news for you.
Here, let me take that banner off again. I gotta switch StreamYard. Come on, StreamYard, jeez. All right. And this is at what timestamp? 3 hours and 53 minutes?
It is. Okay, well, this one's either at 3:52:23. Hold on, I gotta see how the car. If it's creeping, then this is it. I gotta see how it pulls up because there's one that comes up.
Oh, yeah, one that goes quick and then one that creeps, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I think this is the creeping one.
I'm liking it. I'm liking it a lot, guys.
Yeah.
He's gonna fucking need extra slaw in a second. This bad boy.
Tebow's thinking to himself,
the girls
if I
loosened
start
up,
slowing down on
and
Mac,
those other two
maybe I'll
guys
get to sit down.
healed.
Right.
Try to sabotage me.
I actually was wondering if I was going too slow and you were going to switch me back, and I was really scared of that. That's what I was scared of. Nope.
Yes, let that fear.
You guys know, like, the highest exam I saw was 13 minutes, which is, I'm very satisfied. You guys have worked on the truck, and Derek and I have been the ones on Grill and Mac, and we've had longer ticket times than that. Like, you're doing well.
Really? I got news for you.
Yeah, dude.
Hell yeah. All right, what did I miss? Reduce, reuse, lol. Yeah, fuck yeah, dude.
Oh my god, that gets on my nerves. And then like they want their numbers to be called so bad.
I'm liking it. I'm liking it a lot, guys.
Guess he's gonna fucking need extra slaw in a second. This bad boy.
Tebow's thinking to himself, if I start slowing down on Mac, maybe I'll get to sit down. He's gonna try to sabotage me.
I actually was wondering if I was going too slow and you were going to switch me back, and I was really scared of that. That's what I was scared of. Nope.
Yes, let that fear.
You guys know, like, the highest exam I saw was 13 minutes, which is, I'm very satisfied. You guys have worked on the truck, and Derek and I have been the ones on Grill and Mac, and we've had longer ticket times than that. Like, you're doing well.
Pork. I got noodles for you.
Yeah, dude.
Sauce here in a second.
Hell yeah. All right, what did I miss? Reduce, reuse, lol. Yeah, fuck yeah, dude.
Oh my god, that gets on my nerves.
I'm liking it. I'm liking it a lot, guys.
Guess he's gonna fucking need extra slaw in a second. This bad boy.
Tebow's thinking to himself, if I start slowing down on Mac, maybe I'll get to sit down. He's gonna try to sabotage me.
I actually was wondering if I was going too slow and you were going to switch me back, and I was really scared of that. That's what I was scared of. Nope.
Yes, let that fear.
You guys know, like, the highest exam I saw was 13 minutes, which is, I'm very satisfied. You guys have worked on the truck, and Derek and I have been the ones on Grill and Mac, and we've had longer ticket times than that. Like, you're doing well.
Really? Pork. I got noodles for you.
Yeah, dude.
Sauce here in a second.
Hell yeah. All right, what did I miss? Reduce, reuse, lol. Yeah, fuck yeah, dude.
Oh my god, that gets on my nerves. And then like they want their numbers to be called so bad.
What's your thoughts?
Did we notice that before when we were doing the deep dive?
Nope, I just started noticing this. I mean, yeah.
Huh. Because I didn't think that I didn't remember seeing it, but then I'm like, well, shit, there was so many things that we had noticed and went through.
There's so much.
Huh. And when was that again? For the
Timestamp?
yeah, for both of those?
Well,
Let me know when you release that too.
I
In
don't
case
know
I
if
don't
it's
get the
for-
notification.
I don't know if it's for both of them. I know that there's a few times. It's so hard to explain without showing, but 352.23.
Okay. Yeah, when do you plan on releasing that?
Technically, right now.
Yeah, you should,
Yeah.
and then I can save it.
I mean, like, no.
That's a
I
good
don't
video.
know. I just kind of been. There's a whole bunch of stuff that I got that I don't know. I just haven't had time.
Hmm.
That's why I just said just to put it out there.
Yeah, I don't remember that. Yeah. Yeah,
Right.
it's a good video. Huh. That's interesting. What? So when we figured out it was like what, an hour and the timestamp compared to real time Moscow, Idaho, from the timestamp from the GrubTruck, it was like what, an hour and 4 minutes ahead of what real time was. Is that? Do you remember what we came up with for the real
Well,
time?
I'm
I
looking.
think it was an hour and 4 minutes or something like that.
Hold on. I'll
Mm-hmm. Yeah, new things every time. Yeah, it's a really good video. Thanks for giving us a sneak peek at it. Appreciate that. There's a couple Idaho4 videos I'm going to get into. Is there anything on the GrubTruck else you wanted to kind of go through? I do need to do the finish.
Well, that diesel.
Oh, the diesel.
Hold on.
I got the full GrubTruck stream up too, if we need to go to that to play that as well. Something like that, Kelly. I think it was a minute or an hour and 4, hour and 2, hour and 8, hour and 12. It was something. An hour and something. Something low. Damn, I don't even have my air on and it's freezing in here. It's great. I just need a damn blanket.
Okay, for the diesel that goes by, it's right before the girls get there. Not right before, but it's 3:40:59.
3:40:59. All right, 3:40:59. All right, so let me mute my music, and we will.
But this is where I think, you know how they have when they're walking up to the GrubTruck, this is when I think eventually it goes to them. And I'm not positive right now because I videoed it. I'm not positive if you could see the truck or not. I don't think you could see it like you could see that white car.
Right, you can just hear
But
the
I think
diesel engine in the background, right?
Well, I think you can see it like a little bit though.
Okay.
And everybody's heads
And
turn. You'll see.
top left or bottom left? Are you going to see it?
I'm not sure if you're top left.
Top left?
Yeah.
Kind of where the white cars came?
I can't.
Or is it a
Hold on.
reflection off a window?
No.
Because I know there's a lot of
well,
reflections, no?
There is a lot of reflections. I've been mostly concentrated right now on the top left.
Okay. All right. We can get to that in a little bit, Stardust. We're on this right now. All right. So top left. This is at 3:39. Is it going to... let me see it. Oh, sorry. It's on slow-mo still.
Order 75. Thank you. Good night. Woo. Hell yeah, I love it. I'll take care of dropping more noodles for you there. I'll grab it. No, I got it. Right? Oh, no, I know.
I don't think it's at the right time because that's not what I see in this one.
I'm on J for Justice. It doesn't have a timestamp of the GrubTruck on it, so I'm just kind of guessing.
No. But like down there on the, it's 340. Wait, yeah. 340.
Yeah, that's where I'm at. I'm at 340.11. I'm at 340.11 right now. Is it in a different spot then?
No. 340 59.
Okay.
Anything unusual about these pork
So many layers, guys.
One is no cheese shreds.
So many
layers. Wow, I'm sorry. It's all good.
Okay, Tebow. Yeah. Yep. Slide down more. Nice. Well, that's a good spot. Here, bro.
If Sonia's not here, they just got the mac and cheese. Wow. He's sold out on beans and rice. He's got to be Yeah, bro. Check this out. Dude, it wasn't even me until I came up here. But now I'm here and I'm just doing it.
Is that the one? Is that what you were talking about right there?
No.
No? Is it not the right spot? There is no GrubTruck timestamp on this video, so I'm not sure. Can you send me the video you're going off of?
Yeah, hold on.
Okay. Yeah, there's a ton of suspicion in the video.
But what you just, was that the sound? No. I'm trying to think if it was a sound that we thought was like a motorbike or something.
What's up, Sharon? Yeah, there was definitely some motor, like ATV, motorbike, diesel truck. I mean, there were so many freaking sounds at night. And that's why I want to compare like the stuff we went through with the GrubTruck to the body cam and the vehicles that are going on in the background. And then the times compared to how long it takes to do a loop from the GrubTruck to the property.
I'm pretty sure that one, when we thought it was a motorbike, up in that corner, the top one, you can see if it is something like that, it looks like it could have been a side-by-side. Because you can see a vehicle.
Side-by-side, huh?
Yeah. You could see a vehicle going through up in that corner when that sound's happening.
Do you have a video coming out with that too, to kind of go with the other one that you got?
Yeah, it's in the making. I just
teasing.
Okay. I gave it. I was just kind of wanting to show you what's going on. With
Right. Here, I need to put us on the screen here. Hold on. So we're not covering the. There we go. So we're not covering up the important part. Let's see. Let's go right. We'll go right here. Here we go. Okay. So we're gonna watch this again. Is it gonna be with the same video, or are you making a completely separate video of the ones that you made already? I'm excited to hear this too. Always been, Sharon. Always been, from when we did our deep dive back in December, early January, when we were doing our deep dive. Then always was suspicious. Even when we did our newest deep dive a couple months ago on the GrubTruck, me and Unravel here did, like, I think it was like 5 episodes. We did a deep dive on the GrubTruck.
I never thought he was, though.
You didn't think so? I did.
No.
I did. Especially like him and the other individual that ran off. You know, around the corner.
Yeah, I
Just
didn't
some
think
shady,
he was either.
There's just some shady. It could be, you know, just substance.
The only thing I
whatever,
thought
but-
was shady is those 2 guys lingering around, and those girls. They're just everything about what's going on. When they're around, they're just like, she's buried in her phone, and I don't know. But as soon as they leave, they just get so uncomfortable, or so more comfortable. You know, other way
Mhm.
around. They're
Yeah.
comfortable.
Yeah.
And they start laughing and stuff, and they're like, phew, they're gone.
I think there's like 4 groups in here that are suspicious, to me, honestly. There's 2 groups in the background, and then there's 2 groups in the foreground, and I think there's 4, maybe 5, but definitely 4 groups that are suspicious as hell, to me. Definitely.
I don't know.
Damn, that macaroni sounds so good too.
Doesn't it?
Yes, it does. Fuck. Damn, always food. Always food. All right. We're going to listen to this again.
So many layers, guys.
One is their cheese shreds.
So many
Horse
layers.
layers.
Wow, sorry.
It's all good.
Okay, Tebow. Yeah. Yep. Slide down more. Excellent. That's a good spot.
And maybe next Saturday night, maybe we can hang out at the GrubTruck, like we were talking about a long time ago. We'll live stream it from the show here, and we'll all hang out here and in the GrubTruck and show support over there too for the night. We could all do it together. I think it'd be cool. Next Saturday night, let's do it.
If Sonia's not here, they just got the mac and cheese.
Wow.
He sold out on beans and rice.
Yeah, bro. Check this out. Dude, it wasn't even me until I came up here.
That's definitely decent.
But now I'm here and I'm just doing it.
That's definitely decent.
Is that dude who talks about, man, what is the time on that last ticket? Hell yeah, guys. 12 minutes. Love it.
I'll let me know when you're ready for those burritos.
Joe's an onion confirmed. I don't know the context, but I accept it.
On our last basil.
You also
Last basil.
the nickname for Stellar.
What's up, Mystified? It makes me miss that GrubTruck deep dive, man. That was some good shit that we did.
Yeah, it's super deep.
I know.
I got all the stuff still here. And I did get the times at 10 o'clock when they started serving people. Wait, hold on here. How did I do that? So, I think it's 2 hours and 128. 2 hours, 1 minute and 28 seconds difference in the time.
2 hours. It was 2 hours.
1 minute and 28 seconds.
Damn, you got it down to the seconds. Woo.
Oh my gosh, you don't even know.
I love it. I love it. That's precise precise detail right there. There we go. Love it.
So at 1 minute and 28 seconds is 10 o'clock.
All right.
They arrive at 3:43, and that's 1 o'clock, 1:42.
Okay. Yeah, I remember when we were doing it, we kept posting the real times, but I might have to try and fit it in where it can be like a rewatch thing. I know it's a lot of hours, but I can skip through some shit. And then see anything beyond what we already took notes of, kind of like what you're doing. But kind of do the rewatch, jot down all the exact things, add the new additions to it.
Yeah, because I remember when I did do it,
yeah,
we were trying to like calculate the exact time that they came and left, and it was pretty right on from what the I think PCA said.
Right, yeah.
And I think it took them 3 or 4 minutes because it was, what time was it when they left? They left, the car left at 1:52, and then they arrived at the house at 1:56.
Right. Which it takes.
And it was spot
5-6
on.
minutes. Right. It would be nice to do it again. I might have to do that, where I just kind of rewatch it and hang with everybody in the chat, and we can kind of see if there's anything new while making precise notes from the other deep dive. I definitely have the time to do it, so maybe I'll fit it in somewhere and try and do that. Yeah.
Now we got that corner to watch too, those vehicles when you hear it.
Yeah. And then going through the deep dive body cam, that's gonna add that extra layer. And instead of just having a map, because you got other people that are making the maps of the routes and shit, I would like to have a map of all these suspicious vehicles and the possible routes they were taking along with the supposed route. Man, I can't wait to go there.
Surround sound I can hear on what side, like what side it's coming from. And then now that little part, you can hear when it's coming from that place and not or the other side.
And when I go there, I'm gonna, man, I wish I could be there right now. I would fucking time it all myself. You know what I mean? I would try and give you guys the possible pet. Maybe it's a good thing. I need to do this body cam shit. We do the rewatch of the GrubTruck deep dive. We get the body cam deep dive. That will give me precise routes. Then I can take that to Moscow and then stream those routes for you. So you get the real freaking route, possible routes of GrubTruck body cam vehicles, how long it takes to get from here to there, kind of recreate everything in a way. Yeah. When are you available, like weeknights or because I would love to have you on when we do the GrubTruck rewatch. Then we can still be in panel. If we notice anything while we're rewatching, or if anybody else does, we can bring it up. We can, if we get to a certain point, we could use some of your videos that you're making for the zoom ins and things like that too. And maybe there might even be new parts where you want to do your zoom in as well. And
Right now, I know if you're looking for a day off, I had the 19th off, but I usually get out probably around 5:30.
I can do them whenever you're available. Like, I don't give a shit what time it is. I don't care if it's early or if it's late, whenever you'd be available. Any day, for the next week. Where we could kind of do the rewatch. Yeah.
Wednesday, Thursdays, and Fridays, I get out at like 5:30ish.
Okay. I do have an interview Wednesday night. So I can do like any times. You just tell me 3. I'd have to look at the old videos. Like what, a 3.5 hour period or something, maybe. Whatever time, just reach out to me. I'll definitely, I don't care what time it is. I don't even care if it's when I'm in bed or something. I don't give a shit. It's on your schedule. I have the availability to do it at any moment in time. So it's totally up to your schedule. I would love to make sure that you're there with me on the rewatch so we can kind of dig into it even more. Especially with all the stuff that we did together. It's only fair to make sure that that's one of the reasons why I never did the finale, because I didn't think it was fair for me to do the finale without you. And
Aw, no,
we
it's
did all
good.
this work together. We did all this work together. And so it's one of the reasons why I never did the finale of it, because I didn't.
I think that's why I was kind of holding off.
Yeah. So I think it's due. It's people have been asking about it the last couple months. We need more GrubTruck. We want more digging in the GrubTruck. We want the finale. I think it's due. So really just reach out to me whenever. I don't even care if it's last minute and I don't have something planned out or whatever. I don't give a shit. Like, I want to do anything with this GrubTruck. I want to make sure you're involved. Even up through the finale and all that. And honestly, after we do that, I'll go ahead and make it allowable for you to download. And if you want, you can download it and put it on your channel too, because it's just as much yours as it is mine when it comes to the deep dive. So I'll definitely make sure that that's available for you. Sharon, thank you. Everything about you is mellow. Oh, I appreciate you so much for the kind words. Thank you. But yeah, it's due. So you let me know whenever we're down. I don't care if it's sporadic or whatever. I'm just gonna save it unless you're on with me for this rewatch and stuff. So and then I'll get started on the body cam deep dive. I'll make sure that I get that done by the end of this week. And so that way I can be prepared for a trip to Moscow at any point. Depending on what's going on with the fire shit and, all that other background shit that's going on right now. So there's a lot of ideas I have for this Moscow trip. A lot of stuff you guys don't even know that I'm keeping in my own head, and it's going to be a surprise for you guys. So, damn, it's too bad you couldn't come out there, Unravel. That'd be sweet.
Oh my gosh, I know.
Wouldn't it? You and me, you and me. If you can, I mean, it's going to be. I apologize because I don't know what the hell's going on with all this fire shit. I'm not going to know what's going on for like the next 2 or 3 weeks, and it might be one of those things where I just end up hopping out there. If you're able to go and a certain time in advance, I can try my best to make sure we can work on that in the background. But I think that would be amazing if we did so much work together on this shit. I think it would be really cool to do some on location together.
That would actually be amazing.
Yeah. Because you and me, we've put a lot of work into this case together, not only by ourselves, but together over time we did a lot. I mean, there's a lot of hours that we put in together on this shit. So I think it would just add to all the effort and time and dedication that we've spent to it. I think it would be really cool.
I think so too. I'll try to figure something out.
Yeah.
That would be amazing, honestly.
Yeah, I think it'd be sweet. So yeah, let me know when we can do that. I'll definitely save the GrubTruck rewatch until you're available for whatever episode we go through. I'm definitely going to be doing some rewatching of stuff in the background. Thank you, because I didn't even notice those things, and it's like a movie. You watch over and over, and you notice little things that you didn't notice before the previous time you watched it, and you're just like, damn, I missed
You know what
that
it
part.
is? It's because I'm like watching other people, and I'm like, and then I start focusing on certain things. And one day I was kind of a little bit over everybody else's stuff, and I just played it, and I kept hearing stuff, and I have a pretty big screen TV, and I was like looking at it, I'm like, wait, what is that? And I heard the sound, and then I started putting it together, and I'm like, oh boy.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, there's a lot more.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it just watching these little things, I'm just like, damn, I missed the deep dive. Damn, there's more shit. There's got to be more shit. So yeah, that's why whoever came in and was like, why are we still talking about that's why we're still talking about the GrubTruck, dude. All right. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. Are you going to be able to hop in later tonight? We'll be talking Vargas. We'll be going through the Vargas stuff. We'll be going through the 1122 King Road background. And
what about the Vargas stuff?
The Vargas stuff? Well, we watched the Vargas testimony last night. And tonight we're going to be watching the Vargas conversation that she had with Truth and Transparency. And then we're also going to be tying in the 1122 King Road background. We were a couple nights. We were needing to get into that for the last couple.
The Linda
nights
Lane?
too. No, not Linda Lane.
Okay.
No, this is the background of 1122 King Road. Now, I had done this on a previous show with some other content creators a long time ago. We did it on my show, and then we went to their show.
What do you mean by the background?
Like the history of it.
Oh.
You don't know the history of the property?
I don't think, probably not.
Oh boy.
Deep in
For
it.
real?
No.
Oh wow. Yeah. Well, you'll want to check this out. We actually did a lot of this stuff, and I needed to back away from it because you're getting into defamation area. You know what I'm saying? And I don't care to be in a courtroom, unless I have to. So it was just kind of one of them things where I'm like, yeah, I'm cool. I'll let you guys continue to talk about this, but I'm going to respectfully back off, because it's like, yo.
Like if people own the house?
Yeah. It's, are you available tonight? I would love to. Are you? Because I would love to have your on the fly. Don't watch nothing until the show if you're available and you're able to join. I'd love to have your on the fly views and thoughts as we watch it. Honestly, because
all right.
If you haven't seen nothing and you haven't done any digging on it, just wait till tonight. And if you're able to, please hop in because I'd love to hear your voice when you hear some of this shit. It's gonna blow your mind.
Do you? I don't know.
Yeah.
I'll be listening.
Okay. Well, yeah. So I'll be setting a notification for that. It'll probably be 6:30 Central, 7:30 Eastern. I might bump it back just a little bit. I might go 7 Central, 8 Eastern. Because I do need to run some errands and do a little bit more cleaning. I'm just trying to knock it out you know, as I'm in between my shows and things like that, just to try and not make it be so overwhelming, because as soon as I walked in the damn house, it was just like, boom, there's just so much. So I'm just trying to take little bits at a time. So, yeah. Oh, well, if you're just going to be hanging out in chat, make sure you type a lot, because it's going to be crazy what she's basically going in and even deeper than what we did. So that's why I'm going to show her episode. So shout out Truth and Transparency. Appreciate you. One of the best channels out there on YouTube.
Yeah, she does a real deep dive.
Yeah. So it's going to be crazy. So we'll be checking that out tonight. And then any other updates that end up coming out in the meantime. I'm going to go ahead and play a couple videos here real quick, and then I'm going to end the show, and I'll get ready for the show tonight. And I'll put out a notification here in probably 30 minutes or so. Just keep in mind the notification might change depending on how long it takes me to do these other things, but I'm going to try and keep it the same. And if you don't see me on, because a lot of people haven't been getting notifications that I'm live for some reason, something changed in YouTube. So just do me a favor, just check back. If you don't see a notification, just come back and see if I'm even on. You know I will be. It might fluctuate like a half an hour or something. So I'm going to watch, let me see here. I'm going to go to Harsh here real quick. And this is about being open-minded, okay? Actually, I'm going to go to this Court TV video first, and then I'm going to go to the Harsh video, and then we'll go ahead and end the show.
You read the affidavit and you just find out that nobody understands exactly why, but he was stalking them, he was hunting them.
The maximum penalty for that offense, if you plead guilty or are found guilty, is up to death and/or imprisonment for life. Do you understand?
Yes.
This was probably a person that blends into the background.
Yeah, we're from Pennsylvania. We actually don't have crosswalks.
His neighbors and people who know him superficially would probably never guess that he had any violent tendencies.
It's disgusting to think about someone that used to hang out with all the time could do something like this.
Are you waiving your right to a speedy preliminary hearing?
Yes.
If you got to know him well, you would see layers of things that were a bit off or different.
What I do know is that Brian did have anger issues.
You could tell there was something off about him. Very quiet, calculated about what he says. Actually very similar to how he walked into court, no different.
I'm just curious about the law. I don't mean to...
Oh, no, yeah, I can find it for you. Yeah. Everything that I've read about Brian Kohberger would fit the type of person that we would expect for doing a crime like this.
All right, we've got some news tonight, some new information released, and this is the information that prosecutors are attempting to get or have received, but is now under seal. But we've got what the requests are from their warrant. First, Amazon data. Take a look. All detailed customer click activity pertaining to knives and accessories. All details of items in carts, to include all items added to the cart, all items removed or deleted from the cart, and all items saved in the cart, wish listed or shopping baskets. They want to know what the accused killer was shopping for on Amazon. Next one, very interesting. Spotify, search queries, streaming history, playlists, user library, browsing history, account settings, interactions with other Spotify users, user third-party services, devices, and applications in connection with the Spotify service. Next one is even more interesting, related to Spotify. User device sensor data to include motion-generated or orientation-generated device sensor data. Had no idea that Spotify did this, which the user device collects about the way the user moves or holds their device. Okay, from Apple. the contents of all emails associated with the account, including stored or preserved copies of emails sent to and from the account, the contents of all instant messages associated with the account, including stored or preserved copies of instant messages, including iMessages, SMS messages, and MMS messages sent to and from the account, including all draft and deleted messages. And don't forget, folks, this is on the docket. Motion to dismiss. It's a big, big hearing, October 26th. And of course, closing arguments. Let's bring back in our think tank, Bernardo Villalona, Lori Murray, Ian Friedman. Ian, this is a case where no murder weapon's been recovered. We do not believe any bloody clothing has been recovered either. We're not sure what, if any, evidence was even recovered from the white Hyundai Elantra. So in light of that, and the fact that the key piece of evidence is some DNA from a knife sheath from this button snap up on top as the key really to place them at the scene, the knife sheath that was found beneath the victims' bodies. How important is this search history and this internet history, Amazon, Spotify, Apple?
I think it's critical. I mean, this is a case that technology is going to help make. I think here they've got the sheath, as you said. It was ordered by Amazon that fits that sheath, game over. Because that one, as defense counsel, that's going to be really tough to get around. Now you add to it all of the movements that put him in that place, search terms that are talking about it, order histories and so forth. It's going to be a problem if all that adds up. But if that knife was ordered on Amazon, or if they're able to prove it anyway, that he had the knife that fit that sheath, and this getting around the sheath by itself with his DNA there is tough enough. But they put that knife on order to him. It's good night.
Lori Murray, you know a lot about defendants these days, right? From the digital footprint, from what we're doing, what we're saying. In this case, they need as much as possible, right? This defense, it's going to be a death penalty case. The defense is fighting every issue as hard as they can. They're incredibly competent, the defense in this case. What are your thoughts about this information, this data from Amazon, Spotify, Apple?
I thought that they're quick through, and I was impressed by the thoroughness of it. First of all, let's talk about Apple. I don't think that they're going to find that many text messages on there because I don't think he had any friends. So you might have some emails that are, spam emails, but I don't think he had a whole lot of social interaction with anybody. So Apple, you're probably not going to get much from. Spotify is interesting to me. I didn't know they kept that data either. I'm going to have to watch my Spotify. But, I guess they're going to look for whether he was near the crime scene with the Spotify, whether his phone was, and what orientation it was. That's data from Apple. So that's a little bit odd to me. But they want to hear whether he's watching shows like How to Get Away with Murder or listening to true crime podcasts and, all of these, maybe they're all stabbing deaths that he's listening to about on podcasts. But the most interesting one for me is the Amazon one, as it should be to everybody, because they're not only asking for this particular knife, maybe they find that he got the knife there. Maybe they find it that is a huge magic gift that Amazon would give them. But what if he was just looking for knives? What if he just shopped around and clicked, and they asked for the clicks, not just what he bought, but what they clicked, so they actually look at all of the things, and he clicked on 17 different knives that were like this one, and then went and bought it from the local store so as not to have the record of it. He's still caught. And so I think that's a really good search and a really good subpoena on behalf of the state.
Okay, now next I'm going to show you, since you brought it up, Unravel. Shout out to Yoli. She had sent me this link, okay? I'm going to switch to full screen on it here. All right. This is a kit, okay? This is how easily a kit could have been placed even in a backpack or a pouch that goes over your shoulder. Getting a job done right often comes down to having the right tools. Here, let me put us on the right side here. Here we go. Getting the job done right often comes down to having the right tools and being prepared. For elk hunters, having a complete, compact yet complete Unalive kit can help in so many ways. Having the right tools for the job, making the job efficient, clean, and safe. Keeping clean and as free from dirt and bacteria as possible while getting it off, yada yada. The following is a compact and well thought out Unalive kit that so-and-so uses and is sharing with those looking to prep for the upcoming season. This is for elk. As you can see from the picture below, Paul's kit is less than 10 inches in length and about 7 inches wide. An easy fit at the bottom of any day pack or backpack. There it is with the ruler. We list the components of the kit below and in the next picture. Would like to note that there are many options for replaceable knives out there you might prefer other than the one shown, or you might not prefer one at all, but if you go with another replaceable, make sure you have a tool to safely remove it without injury. We also like to add 2 more small Ziplocs to our kit for trash and used knives, so red stuff doesn't get all over everything in the pack, and yet the red stuff stays moist in the sealed bag for easy cleanup back at camp. Some prefer to carry fold-up knives and a small flat-bladed screwdriver. Use what does the job best for you, but always remember safety. So here it is, the kit right here. Whoops, wrong camera. So here's the kit right here. Everything in this 10 by 7 inch pouch. Right here. So the list includes game bags, replaceable blade knife with extra blades, extraction tool for blades, solid knife, 50-foot rope or parachute cord, 4 zip ties, 4 paper towels folded in snack size Ziploc with 6 pumps of hand sanitizer for cleanup, pen, electrical tape, marking tape, nitrile gloves, 55-gallon contractor bag used to prevent dirt, 1 Ziploc bag, 1 gallon to keep contents dry and manageable so nothing gets on it. All of this is in a 10 by 7 inch pouch.
This is so horrible.
Right? And shout out Yoli for sending this to me like a month or so ago. Since you brought it up,
awesome.
I thought I would share it. Yeah, I thought I would share it with you because maybe you're right. You know what I'm saying? Maybe there was a replacement that was needed. This right here, you could easily conceal it. Hell.
I mean, maybe that's why they're going on Amazon, seeing what items he got, see what they have to look for.
Especially if there was a receipt for a Dickies. But
well, this is a big hint.
Where's the uniform, right? Where's the weapon? Who says the Dickies was even his? Who says the Dickies was even used for that? It's very interesting. It's I didn't want to go the graphic route, so I didn't. I had to change some things or whatever. But 10 by 7 inch pouch. You can put that in a backpack, or like they said, a day pack, something that goes over your shoulder even. I mean, very concealable, and all of that in one bag. And pretty much if it's meant to keep you clean from elk, I mean, come on. Yeah, we don't know if this is now. Yeah, we don't. The gag order, we don't know. We really don't know. So I'm going to go into the next video here with Harsh about being open-minded when it comes to this. So I'll go ahead and I know everybody's already subbing to him. Here's the link already. And we're going to watch this video, and then I'm going to go ahead and end the show this afternoon, and we will be back tonight. So just look for a notification to come out soon. And also, I'm going to make a highlight of that that read through that I did. So when you see that come out, please hit the like on that. I'd appreciate it. So this is a video from Harsh about being open-minded. And thank you all for hanging out this afternoon, this morning. I appreciate you guys so much.
Well, hello
Yeah,
there.
and
How
thank
is
you for
everyone?
being
I hope
so kind.
You're all well on this Super
No, thank
Sunday.
you.
So we call it Super Sunday. Super Sunday. And it is super.
Thank you for, offering your time and your company too for the show. I appreciate it. And I can't wait to do the GrubTruck. Anytime you're able to hop in the body cam, please do, and let me know about maybe hitting up Idaho. I think that'd be great, especially with all the GrubTruck stuff.
Sounds good. Yeah, that's
Body
that's
cam,
amazing.
GrubTruck. Yes. Be awesome.
Because I'm about to have a Sunday roast dinner. Well, I say about to in about an hour and a half, 2 hours time. And you know me, I love food, as you can tell. Amazing.
I
Just
do
like
too.
You, by the way, you're amazing. You look amazing. You are amazing. And you are hugely appreciated for what you guys do in order to build and sustain this community. We have a fantastic community over here. And I'd like to thank some of the community members for reaching out to me with respect of Jennifer Coffindaffer, Jennifer Dodger, and her comments over saying that I have no credentials, which, yeah, I guess I don't really have credentials. I have a degree in psychology, but it doesn't really help me when it comes to US law enforcement and how that operates over there. So, yeah, I'll give you that one. But she did also say that all I care about is money, and I'm disgusting and the worst of the YouTubers. I should get a badge for that. I should get a medal for that, or a crown even. King of the bad YouTubers, perhaps. Coming from a person who openly supports another content creator who is lying to their subscribers, saying that they are 100% crowdfunded and they need their donations in order to produce the content, all while raking in thousands.
Yeah, this motherfucker right here, this motherfucker means it when he says that shit. Like, this shit's fully funded from you all. That, exactly, bullshit.
Thousands a month
This
in ad
motherfucker.
revenue alone. But who am I to judge? Thank you, Jennifer Coffindaffer. I will take you seriously when you don't make comments like this, and that is that.
Come on now.
The fact that Brian Koberger's DNA is on the knife sheath proves that he was inside 1122 King Road. And also when you make your comments, like we showed in a previous video, where you're talking and taking the piss out of eyebrows like a 13-year-old schoolgirl. That's when I'll take you seriously. Anyway, I digress. Time to move on, because this video is a little bit ranty. It's going to be a little bit, I say a little
Shout
bit
out,
ranty.
Harsh.
Not really ranty, but there is one specific type of person who we see over on this channel, and you know who they are. They're the people who absolutely 100% won't guilty 100%, but he could indeed be innocent, and he could indeed just be part of a bigger picture, and there could be other people involved. There are certainly people around this case, Steve Gonsalves being one of them, the father of one of the victims, who is quite open to the possibility of him either not being involved or other people being involved. And in the upcoming week, we'll be looking a little bit.
I'm sorry. StreamYard is freaking bugging. My apologies.
Because DNA is
or
on
not StreamYard. It's probably my computer. It's probably
the knife sheath proves that he was inside 1122 King Road. And also when you make your comments, like we showed in a previous video, where you're talking and taking the piss out of eyebrows like a 13-year-old schoolgirl. That's when I'll take you seriously. Anyway, I digress. Time to move on, because this video is a little bit ranty. It's going to be a little bit, I say a little bit ranty, not really ranty, but there is one specific type of person who we see over on this channel, and you know who they are. They're the people who absolutely 100% won't accept that there is a chance that Brian Kohberger could indeed be innocent. And look, he could indeed be guilty 100%, but he could indeed be innocent, and he could indeed just be part of a bigger picture, and there could be other people involved. There are certainly people around this case, Steve Gonsalves being one of them, the father of one of the victims, who is quite open to the possibility of him either not being involved or other people being involved. And in the upcoming week, we'll be looking a little bit more closely at who could potentially be the people or person, certainly one male, it would appear, that could have been someone who dobbed Brian Kohberger in, and did they do so to spare their own neck? But look, I want to tackle this one specific type of person because they all have the exact same sort of question throughout their comment. They start in one thing and they go through a series of questions, and it's like they're saying, "Ha! Answer that then. Answer that." And they start with the phone pings. Like they'll turn around and say, people can't explain how his phone pings were pinging and he turned his phone off and all this, that, and the other. And I'll say this, we don't know 100% whether Brian Kohberger's phone had been switched off or his phone just simply went dead. And what his phone being switched off during that period of time means is simply that his phone was not reporting to a cell tower, seemingly, around a specific time of the night, on this specific night. Which I would imagine that on the grander element, it looks a great deal, and that certainly wouldn't be able to entered and murdered people inside 1122 King Road. And furthermore, initially being made publicly by the likes of legacy media, dodgy media, saying that there are phone pings that ping him in certain places. Now, they will usually pair this comment with the fact that Brian Kohberger had gone into Moscow, Idaho on around 12 other times as well. And what I will say to that is law enforcement have alluded to the fact that Brian Kohberger's phone, the crimes had happened, but they do not believe that at this time. That single piece of information goes to show that the phone pings, the phone tower mast data, is quite broad in the way in which it gathers information and can be used to prove someone being somewhere or not being somewhere. And what I mean by that is these 12 other times wouldn't simply be able to be supported by phone ping data solely. They would have to have further information, further camera footage showing that he is indeed on camera. And perhaps they've got it, and perhaps that's something that we're going to see. Perhaps on the dates that they assume that he visited or frequented the area of 1122 King Road, they have his car on camera, and that can be compared to the most recent data that we're working with. They will then not only talk about the phone pings, but they will obviously talk about the knife sheath itself. And they'll turn around and say, explain how his DNA got on the knife sheath. And what I generally say to these people is, look, what this talks about is the fact that there was DNA on a knife sheath. Now, we could turn around and say the knife sheath could have been planted, and that would kind of go in the realms of tinfoil hat. But what we have to understand is that around the time of these crimes, there was a deal for the acquisition of it.
We went through that when it came out. I about shit a brick, and it's $500 million. I was like, why in the hell are you buying something all the way down south?
Is worth hundreds of millions of pounds. And there would have been an intense amount of pressure placed upon Moscow PD to get a result. And we don't know how far people will go to get results, but we have seen in the past, even with people around this case, that they are willing to go beyond what they should do in order to acquire a conviction or at least an arrest. And certainly the way in which Brian Kohberger was arrested went beyond the realms of what you would expect to see in DNA, and they were working on DNA. Why would they have still been pushing the public to search and hunt for a white Hyundai Elantra literally the day before it was released that he had been arrested? You know, the DNA situation, I think, would have trumped the car situation. I don't see why they would have risked probably scaring the person who they had and was working on that, the naysayers will say. You know, the knife sheath is a big one. Of course it is. And the most recent one is talking about the Dickies coveralls, the Michael Myers suit, if you like, and the fact that it would seem that in the Howard Bloom writings, it would say that there was a purchase of a K-bar knife. And what I will say to that is, look, at the end of the day, still, we don't know what is 100% accurate. So we do have to take certain things with a pinch of salt. But I would say that if it was proven that Brian Kohberger had indeed purchased a K-bar knife, and it was indeed a K-bar knife that was used as a weapon in this crime, then that is quite damning. The Dickies coveralls, however, now bearing in mind that this was in the run-up to Christmas, and Brian Kohberger's father is a heating engineer of sorts, I do believe. Please do,
See what I'm saying?
let me know down below if I've got that wrong. I believe he works on air conditioning, so on and so forth. And perhaps Brian Kohberger had brought them for his dad as a Christmas gift. We know
maybe they
that
were
Brian
his dad.
Kohberger was leaving the area and going over to his father's to spend Christmas and that period of time with them. So it makes sense that he would have perhaps brought his father something like that, because these trolls will turn around and say they haven't been able to explain that, but we don't know. You know, we've not been made privy to any recording. I don't think there is any recording, which in itself is a bit odd, but we haven't been made privy of any communication between law enforcement and Brian Kohberger, so we can't say what he has and what he hasn't done. But look, there are some valid questions. There's some valid things that both sides of the argument hold. You know, there are some questions that Brian Kohberger will certainly need to be questioned on, and, you know, there's a lot of circumstance. You know, they don't tie it up in a neat little bow. They leave things open to questioning, you know, and even though there were so many people over on X, and these comments made that I was talking about at the beginning by Jennifer Coffin Stabber. She ain't killed anyone, I don't think. But she was talking about Dylan Mortensen, and people were sort of backing up Dylan Mortensen, saying, "Oh, people are accusing her. I've never accused her of doing anything." There's a massive difference, and I said this over on Twitter. There's a difference between accusing someone of something and questioning a person's actions or inactions. You know, because when you've got one eyewitness who puts together an account of who they saw and at exactly what time they saw them, but you pair that with frozen shock phase, which then questions whether they were indeed compos mentis enough to give that rendition of the night, then, you know, you have to question that. You also have to question why law enforcement haven't dug deeper into why there was this a chargeable offence in Idaho to, you know, the non-report of a crime, and that has not been tackled. So it leaves you again open to interpretation that perhaps she was leveraged on, and she was told what she had to say, and she became a witness, and maybe the exculpatory evidence of Bethany Funk would lead you to believe that she couldn't have possibly been a witness, because perhaps she didn't come out of her room, she didn't see anyone, and perhaps there was messages after the event that would say that she hadn't seen anyone. There wasn't a witness at all. We have been sort of told by people who we don't really know 100% whether I can trust, but there was a Snapchat thread of people talking. There was no mention of a witness in that. But again, we don't know if that's trustworthy or not. We don't really know what is trustworthy and what isn't. But point being, question, don't accuse. We are
right, and that's why we're about what we're about over here. It's innocent until proven guilty. I highlight and I glorify the shit that is, LE doing their jobs, press conferences, top notch, should be used for training videos, all sorts of shit. But at the same time, I'm gonna say what fucking doesn't make sense either, and where I feel justice isn't taking place. So I call it out on both ends, and that's how it should be. Brandy Weiner, are you still in chat? If you are, there was some pictures that you wanted me to check out. I was just wondering if you were still in chat and if you wanted to discuss them real quick before I end the show. Just let me know. Otherwise, we can go into him tonight. If she's still not in here, I apologize. Oh, you're good, Detective Golden. It's all good. She might have had to hop out by now. We can always get into him tonight in the beginning of the show. Yeah, prayers for the kidney stones. That shit ain't no joke.
Oh, no, they're not. I've had it one time.
Yeah.
Good Lord.
I never had one, and I never want to.
Oh, no, you don't. I can take pain, and I had tears in my eyes. I thought I was dying.
Yeah, I can imagine. In the gut, too,
Yeah.
All right. Well, she must have hopped out for the show, but we'll definitely, I know she'll be back tonight, so we'll go ahead and get into them tonight. I want to wait until she's back in chat to kind of fill everybody in. So thank you again, Unravel. I appreciate your company and your conversation. I'm excited to get through some of this other stuff, and let me know what your schedule's like coming up the next week, and we'll definitely do some of those rewatch shows with the
Sounds
GrubTruck.
good. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much.
Chat,
And
being so kind.
yeah, and let me know when you send me the link to your videos, just in case I don't get the notification. I want to make sure I save them and
All right.
highlight when we go into it too. Thank you so much, everybody. I appreciate you guys, and we'll be back here. I'll put out a notification here shortly for tonight's show. I'm thinking it's probably going to be 8:30 Eastern, probably 8:30 Eastern, somewhere around there. So just, if you don't get a notification, just look to see if we're on, and we'll be on for sure. Thank you, everybody. I appreciate it. Thank you, Unravel.
I love you guys too, and bye.
See you later, everybody. Thank you. Appreciate you.